Well, we are back, everybody, and I think it's an understatement to say that we are going to have one of the biggest podcasts we have ever had in the history of this channel's existence. There is going to be a lot we cover. If we wanted to focus as much time as we needed on everything, this would probably be like a 6-hour epic. So we're going to do our best to really get all of our thoughts out. With that in mind, once again, thank you for everybody who subscribes to this channel. Thank you to everybody that listens to the podcast. Thank you for all the likes and comments and everything. It really means the world to us. And especially thank you to all the members of the channel. Whether you're giving us $1 or $2 a month or $5 or $10 for the audio commentaries and all that, thank you very much. You guys mean the world to us. It really does make a difference in these times where everything is uncertain. So the fact that you guys are willing to just drop a few bucks a month to support us with some extra content really does mean a lot to me personally. So thank you. All right, everybody. So this podcast will be one of those. We have a lot. If you look at the description down below, everything will be one by one time-stamped, but it's going to be a lot, just so you're very well aware of that. And of course, as always, every week I am your host, Armin. And just find me wherever the hell I am, which many of you did, because last night everything exploded of mine. I've been trying to reply to some of those messages. But, as always, I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692. You can just find me there.
There we go. And also, we are joined by Tristan.
Hey guys, RIP Cyber Roblox, and you can catch me at SJ Chance.
Oh, God. We'll talk more about Cyberpunk at another day because, trust me, I'd want to today, but we just got to get into everything we have. So with that in mind, we're just going to jump right into our first. After tons of rumors, tons of speculation, and various other things, now it's like pretty much 100% confirmed without Disney confirming it, but Tobey Maguire was spotted at the costume fitting location for Spider-Man 3. Alfred Molina was literally spotted on the set of Spider-Man 3 by major outlets. So all that combined with the fact that we're hearing that, yeah, Andrew Garfield, he's agreed to come back with, which I've talked about it here. I know he was meeting with Sony. I just couldn't confirm whether it was Spider-Man or not. Well, that was confirmed, so it was Spider-Man. So, I mean, Spider-Man 3, it is Spider-Verse. I think we can all now kind of, confirm that.
It's Spider-Man's, because you can't confuse the branding of Spider-Verse.
True.
The Sony's universe of the Spider-Man.
The spunk.
So, just with that, now that it's sort of, confirmed, we have an idea of what this film is going to be. All the multiverse characters they're bringing in. What do you guys think about this now? Is this Sony's first like 1.5 billion or higher film? Because it has to be at this point, right? Like this is their Avengers.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna try.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how much did Far From Home make? It hit $1 billion, didn't it?
Like 1.1, 1.2 almost.
Yeah.
This is probably gonna at least 1.5, I'd imagine. If not 2. 2 at a push is really good.
I mean, I would say 2, but like with the situation and everything, we don't know how theaters will be. So it's like, that's what's holding me from saying, well, it's 2 guaranteed, because
Yeah, it's like I'm interested, but I'm not really excited. It's just mostly from the reaction from fans that it's like sour to me because I've been seeing. People are all, I think as soon as like it got confirmed with Tobey Maguire and all of them are coming back, I've been seeing is well, you got to get Raimi to direct this. I'm like, no.
I don't get. Like, no, you don't.
No,
you don't.
And then like other people are saying, well, what if this does well, maybe we'll get the Spider-Man 4 movie we always wanted. And I'm like, no.
I mean, you're gonna get. Regardless.
Yeah.
Well, no, they want the Raimi Spider-Man.
Honestly,
they want.
At this point, I wouldn't put it past Sony to just have like multiple Spider-Man continuities because it makes money, right? Like, and it's something we'll talk about later on, where Raimi will somewhat be involved with this, but you know, there.
I was gonna say, 'cause they say they without confirming it, they kind of say something last night where it's like, yeah, this is happening.
Right, and that's the thing with this whole Spider-Man Spider-Verse film is, I mean, they're literally going all out on this movie, and it gets me excited as somebody that's grown up watching all of these. Like, there is something to that I think the nostalgia factor will drive this film beyond anybody's wildest expectations, and that is good and bad because. You know,
it's like it does have a nostalgia factor, but to me, it's like then you realize all the toxic things that are gonna come out of this.
Oh.
You know, with all the bickering and saying, "Man, can this be just a Tobey Maguire movie instead?" Or Andrew Garfield.
That's just people on Twitter. Like, you can shut that out. Like, honestly, I've got to the point now. Like, just get rid of all that baggage, and it's like, you know what? Let's just do this.
Yep.
Like, would I have wanted it before? Probably not. It's too much in a way, and it probably still is because they're still talking to other people to come back. It's not just what we.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? Let's just get it and see how it goes, and ignore what everyone else goes on about in the silly feuds on Twitter over 13-year-olds.
Yeah, it's nonsense. I mean, the thing is, this is going to be a celebration of Spider-Man, and I am excited with that because there'll be something for everybody. And I was talking to my wife Shay, like, as this all was coming out. She was like, "What are you most excited for in this movie?" And what I was most excited for is seeing Andrew Garfield return. And I know that's a little weird, and everybody's going to go, okay, Armin's clearly had a stroke or something. But, like, he's the one that I think had everything that they needed to make a great Spider-Man film.
Yep.
They had great talent. Everything seemed in the right place. The only thing that held it back was Sony being stupid. And I think in the hands of Kevin Feige and John Watts going, look, we can maybe pull something out of this that the fans will go, you know what? Andrew was treated bad. That gets me the most excited because I really felt bad for him because, like, you saw his passion for Spider-Man when he was announced, and then slowly he absolutely turned to hate the character by the time he was done. Like, it's so sad. I can't
see the light fade from his eyes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I mean, that light faded from his eyes when he got done with Twilight.
Was that Andrew Garfield in Twilight? You're thinking of Robert Pattinson, aren't you?
Yeah. There you go.
They're the same skinny guy.
In fairness, they have the exact same haircut in those movies.
Yeah, well, I think that's what I was talking about. That's what I was thinking about.
And to be fair, Andrew Garfield, you can tell him apart because of his neck, because it's approximately 3 inches longer than any other neck on the planet. So
he does have a hell of a neck on him.
What I'm excited for is when they bring back Tobey Maguire's exaggerated swagger of a emo dude.
I can't wait.
They need that
middle-aged white man. Like,
they need that. They need that Saturday night.
Well, see, this is the question, isn't it? That we got Melina back, but we know Doc Ock, quote, well, the movie says he dies.
Mm-hmm.
How does that factor in? Electro, it says he dies, but you can't kill pure energy, so you can kind of run that off as its own thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're doing the multiverse, it'll just be a different version of Doc Ock. One slightly more different to where he didn't die.
I mean, here, I'm going on freaking, like, crazy theory mode right here, right? You know how we know Sony has been developing the Madam Web movie?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say Madam Web is showing up in this, and that's what's going to happen. It's going to be like, at the moment of death of these characters, they were all called together for this one merging universe. At the center of it is the MCU version. Mm-hmm. Go, converge, do it. Like, that kind of just seems easy enough to be like, and then they get their Madam Web spin-off as well. Like,
see, I would be surprised if they did the whole thing like they're plucked from specific points in time and then put right back. So nothing changes in their timeline. They just, just there. It's connected, but it's not at the same time.
That's a smart way to do it, honestly. Like, that could work as well.
Because there are rumors that Defoe's in talks to come back. And it's like, well, we know Defoe was definitely the Dead.
Yeah.
So how does he come back necessarily? Hey, they pulled him right before he died.
I mean, I've also heard from the same person that told me Andrew was meeting with Sony in regards to 2 other people also meeting with Sony recently. And
was one of them Dane DeHaan?
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Goblin AIDS is back.
Oh no!
Hulk him out and toss him in there and done. Perfect.
You
Yeah.
don't want to turn him into Ultimate Goblin because of the Goblin AIDS.
The only one we don't need back is Rhino.
You need him front and center. You need a bit with that. You need a bit with that.
I'd rather have Topher Grace's Venom come back.
We are batting for the low bar right here. Jesus.
I mean, it is a mid-2000s movie. It is a very low bar.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't worry, guys. If you guys want more Spider-Man talk, we'll be back to it soon enough. But we're going to just jump on over to our... boy, WB, the more we hear from the people involved with the decision-making process, we learned that WB really fudged up when they...
knee-jerk reactions.
God.
Not only has pretty much every director come out and blasted them...
In fairness, it's AT&T they've gone for.
Yeah, because they're the ones that own WB now. Like,
Yep.
They have, outside of Patty Jenkins, who got a massive payday to praise the whole thing. Boy,
supposedly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised, but supposedly.
Well, I will trust that the New York Times did their due diligence and got the correct report. You know,
well, what are you gonna do? So what are you gonna do? She had to wait till the check hit the account.
Yeah, and then for a praise away, which honestly, it was like $10 million allegedly she was paid. That's more than she made directing. So okay, fine, that's amazing. But it's interesting to see how this is shaked out. And if you look at it, apparently James Gunn pissed, Villeneuve pissed, Mortal Kombat people pissed,
Chris Nolan.
Chris Nolan.
He's out
of there.
Dude, Nolan literally woke up, looked at the news, and said, "Oh, I'm going for the jugular," and he did not stop. It was.
He ain't picking up WB's phone calls anymore.
My friendship with Nolan's been reinstated. He said Tokyo Drift's the best Fast and Furious. So.
And he's right.
So respect is back on for Christopher Nolan.
I lost the respect with Interstellar and The Dark Knight Rises, but I gained it back with Tokyo Drift.
He truly is the man of culture. He's the Messiah we need.
So here's another thing that I've seen a lot of people bring up, and this is kind of part of the conversation now. And, directors are rightfully so pissed because, let's say the Suicide Squad was targeting $1 billion. If it hit that, James Gunn would have got a substantial chunk of that money. The stars of the film would have cashed out and been like, you know what? We don't even have to act for 5 years because of how much we're making. Now they're not getting that. And on the other side of that argument is, but Snyder gets $70 million, huh? Okay. To finish a product that failed in theaters. And it's
because I think most of the backlash is that most of this favors WB and AT&T with how contracts are lined up.
Yep.
I mean, I think the majority of it, personally, is just how they've handled it by not handling it. They just made a decision and bang, it's all over.
And it told people 30 minutes before it was going live.
It's I don't think you would have had this reception if they had talked to everyone.
Right. And I do want to point this out. Some people might not know this. The reason HBO Max has been having trouble getting onto Roku and stuff, people don't understand. You don't just add the app and it's good to go.
No.
Netflix, for example, Disney Plus, everywhere the apps go, the people that are hosting that app get a percentage of whatever subscribers or purchases are run through that app. So Roku, for example, gets, I think it's estimated like 2 point something percent or whatever of everything Netflix that goes through a Roku. So
That's huge.
So the reason WB held back on some of these devices is they don't want to share HBO Max revenue. And the thing is, the revenue from these type of deals, HBO Max, and how they're established, on the back end, the people making the content would get nothing, even if they go to some of these other streaming, which is what's holding everything back. Like, AT&T did not think anything through when they came up with any of these decisions, and it's showing, like, insane. Like, I honestly can't believe that they pulled this, because we look at, like, Kong vs. Godzilla, and Legendary was like, dude, we made the movie and fronted 90% of it, and you're telling us we're not making any money back? Like, what?
It's shady. It's incredibly
yeah.
shady. But you can, they've recently sold off Crunchyroll to Sony's Funimation.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're just after to shrink the debt. That's all AT&T wants. They're just like, no, we're going to do this, make a quick bit of money, shrink the debt. Cool. We're going to go from there. Like, forget everyone else.
Yeah, I'll give you IOUs.
Now,
Happy with that.
I would like to point out, there was a report that came out probably a year ago or so, when the whole AT&T thing, and it stated, AT&T, they're cutting ties with DC Universe. Everything is folding into HBO Max. They're looking at, HBO when that comes out to potentially push movies on there. They're looking to sell off WB Games, which they held back on because nobody would take the bite. In that report was also, if 2020 to 2021 is not good for DC Comics, they're selling off the comics brand. I'm starting to believe that.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I am 100% believing that now, because everything else is viable from those reports.
Yeah, that's not surprising, because from the reports, it's like everything that's valuable is good to go for the right price.
Yeah. See, all they care about is proving IP. They're not going to take a massive risk.
Yeah.
With anything. So, does this make money? Cool, we're going to keep that. The rest can get sold off.
So insane, honestly. Like, what an interesting time, right? Like,
it's definitely I think interesting is probably the only word to really use for it, because it's clearly had an effect on some other companies' decisions in recent days, or recent hours, maybe, because there was a certain jab about being transparent with investors and audiences, and it's just like, oh god.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about all that more. When more WB stuff happens, don't worry, guys. We'll cover it, because this thing is not ending anytime soon. I think this thing is about to, this is going to be a major talk in the industry for a while, because, I mean, here's the problem. A lot of people I know took that deal that HBO Max put up right away, that was like, hey, you can now get HBO Max for the next 6 months, and you get like 2 months off worth of pay, because look at all the content we're bringing you. If they're suddenly to pull back on that, me and anybody else can jump on the class action lawsuit, and they will lose that money and have to refund it, and we still keep our subscription. They are literally stuck against a wall, and they're surrounded by zombies, and they can't do anything, and somebody's going to take a giant chunk of them. So it is.
There's
it is
that.
bad.
They've also got to get around the Directors Guild, because they're not happy. They're not happy. Legendary's suing them, aren't they?
They're looking to, like, they're going to,
yeah. So I'm not going to be surprised if this announcement or their announcement gets reversed.
Oof.
And then it's only going to be like, right, well, they might try and sort it out with studios, but which studio is going to be like, you know what? Yeah, sure, cool. We talked it out. You can now put it on HBO Max. We're going to get 40% or whatever. Like, I can't see that bit happening.
And I think potentially worse is that they wanted to rename HBO Max to Warner Max.
Yeah, which is the original name it had anyway.
Yep.
So
this is the sort of stuff you do before you launch a service, when you're beta testing, maybe.
Well, I love in that report that they were like, Warner wasn't aware that people would be confused that it's a WB service. It's like, how stupid are you? That'd be like Disney naming their content Fox and being like, why aren't people aware we're Disney? Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh boy!
It just shows you how quick and pebble dash this thing was.
Yep.
Like, even with the whole, like, oh yeah, this content's going to be on here for a week from launch, and then it's going to go to Peacock. Right.
Oh.
Why not just buy Peacock?
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, we'll be back to this soon because this ain't stopping anytime. The big report that came out this week, and we're gonna have an interesting debate in regards to this one because I think we're all on somewhat of a different side of this, but it was reported by Murphy's Multiverse that, hey, Charlie Cox has officially joined Spider-Man 3. And more than anything else he's ever posted, this spread like ultimate wildfire. Like,
yeah, because it's huge.
This is huge. So
huge.
The thing is, it's like, if he is right on this, he's scored on this one. If he's wrong on this one,
ooh boy.
Ooh boy. Ooh. Nobody will ever look at him seriously again for any report he makes. So, I guess let's go around, and talk about this. So, Tristan, how about you first? What's your feelings on this?
It's okay and good. As I have no problems with it, but I think like I have the same feelings as Mitch. Is that I have a feeling that he would fit better if he appeared in She-Hulk instead.
Well, I'm also still trying to figure out if this thing is like even. Is it gonna happen here? Like, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the big thing. And I mean, Spider-Man 3 is already so loaded. You add Daredevil in there, that's huge. And I can understand the whole lawyer thing making sense. So,
yeah, it's like it's weird because like you wonder like would there even be enough time for him?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, if he is in there, it's literally gonna be 5 minutes.
Yeah, like for a cameo, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
like they'll make sure you know it's Matt Murdock, and then that's it. He'll be gone.
And I would assume, like I've always said, if I was Feige and I wanted to put Daredevil in something, I said it from the beginning. I would toss him into one of the Sony like Spider-Man films to see how the crowd reacts, because they got that mandatory must include 2 MCU characters deal. So it's like, hey, Sony, why don't you test them out over here, see the reaction? And they could also maybe play around with some changes to Murdock, like costume adjustments and all that. So I'm okay with it. My assumption would be, if he's appearing in this, and I believe he will to some degree, that you will have him in costume maybe at the beginning helping Spider-Man for like 2 minutes and then a courtroom scene, just so posters and TV spots can have Daredevil on them, and that's it. Like,
I mean, yeah.
You just want that.
Right. This is what I don't understand. Daredevil's been in a 2-year moratorium period.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been able to do anything official with this character.
Right.
They haven't even been able to talk to Charlie Cox officially.
Yeah.
This says this has been like several months in the making. If that's true, Netflix can sue the ever-living crap out of Marvel.
Right. Unless...
So I don't believe this. If it's true, fantastic, great. I do not believe it based on that alone.
That's my takeaway as well. And my only thing that I would go, well, maybe this is what they done is, what if Sony was willing to pony up whatever, like $50-100 million or whatever, Netflix wanted to relinquish it early for use? I don't think they would, because that's insane. Because that's a, well, here's
the thing. Marvel have tried that before.
Right.
In the last 2 years, they wanted the backlog back. Guess what? Netflix didn't take the money.
Yep.
Will they take it now to try it again? Probably. Netflix are in a bit of trouble right now. But they didn't take it before. So why would Netflix even let them put them in Spider-Man 3?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense and add up to me.
Yeah.
Especially after last night when Feige said you don't know who's going to show up in She-Hulk.
Right.
Yes, it can be literally anybody.
And
absolutely anybody. But doesn't it make sense to have Matt Murdock come back in a courtroom drama show?
What I'm also following on. So whether Daredevil is back or not, we'll find out more soon. If it's Spider-Man 3, he would fit. He fits the bill. Like, he could work in there, but I just don't no, and who knows if they would even want to, and that's kind of like the thing where I'm stuck in the middle. I mean, we'll know soon enough, right? Like, at some point with how everything has went, somebody's going to go, oh, well, excuse me, not somebody. Just Jared is going to have a photo of Charlie Cox on set.
Yeah.
So that's bound to happen.
It's like if I had to bet, I had to put more stock into him appearing in She-Hulk than Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. Well,
because also, let's be honest, like, Marvel and Netflix haven't got a relationship.
No.
No. Whatsoever. Like, they didn't enjoy their time working together the way Netflix has treated them ever since. Yeah, no, well, you don't have to worry about ruining anything there.
To the extent of you saying that, remember, Netflix gave them the go-ahead, a thumbs up to work on Iron Fist Season 3, Luke Cage Season 3, and all this, and literally in the middle of writing after each season, they gave them a phone call and said, you're canceled. Yeah. Like,
I was going to say, Iron Fist, the next season was virtually written.
Yeah.
That was done.
Yep.
Now it's gone.
So we'll talk more about this soon, because Daredevil news is bound to keep on appearing until something officially confirms. And we'll talk more about it, obviously, in relation to the MCU.
Yeah.
So,
I just before we jump off on this, like, with this article, whether it's right or wrong, it's had the biggest reaction for Daredevil in 2 years.
Yep.
They will see this. They see his stuff anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They will see this. They will know the reaction. This article is only really a good thing. It's a good thing for everyone else. Whether it works out a good thing for Murphy, who knows? That's future to find out and decide.
Yeah.
But this is all a good thing, because
this
pretty certain the first chance they got, they were talking.
Right, and this will bring us back to that whole argument of where everybody brings it up. They're like, well, Avengers Annihilation versus Endgame, what it ended up being. And it's that type of thing. If this turns out to be false for him, people are going to double and triple take everything he says. And if this turns out to be right, I mean, people are going to believe more of what he says. And it's... We only have a little bit of time, and like you said, this can only be good for Daredevil. There's no damage here. Even if it's not true, it's good, because Disney's going to have to look at what is trending, and Daredevil's been trending for weeks now. It's like, okay.
So how long has Daredevil been back? Last Sunday? In the last week, there's been nothing but Daredevil talk.
Exactly.
So it's keep the pace going, and regardless of what happens, he's going to be back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I say give it a few months before we hear anything.
That's,
like maybe February, March, around that time, I'd assume.
I could see that. So there we go. When we know more about Daredevil, we'll... So as part of the Disney investors call, obviously a lot of things were announced. And we're getting into this, starting with Star Wars and some of their announcements that we're going to talk about. So the first one I'm going to start with is Ahsoka. So, I mean, this was
starting off with the non-surprise that everyone knew.
Exactly. Like, we knew this was coming. Like, to be real, you know, everybody suspected this, because you don't just have Ahsoka appear in there and be like, where is Thrawn? And then...
Yeah. And you don't just cast someone like Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
You just don't do that.
What I want to know is where all the Ahsoka fans came from.
They've been here for years.
The last 4 seasons of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Is you sure? Because I remember when she first came out, no one liked it.
When she first came out, yes, people hated her. And with good reason. She was terrible.
The first 2 years of that character were garbage.
Yeah. And the first few seasons of Clone Wars are bad.
You know, every time I hear her go, "Hey, Sky Guy," I cringe and die on the inside a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, oh no, so masturbatory.
Yeah.
As Ahsoka had, I'm getting character development here treatment. So luckily she grew into something people really like, and people have loved that character.
Yeah, because I was indifferent for the longest time, and mainly because of that stuff. But from like what I remember, it was in the beginning like virtually no one liked her, and then all of a sudden everyone loves her.
I mean, the Clone Wars movie was received so poorly that they didn't even know if the series would take off because everybody
that movie was bad.
It was bad, yeah. Like,
man. I mean, I don't know how I finished that show. I really don't after watching that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad I never went.
It's bad.
So, honestly, if you can make it through the movie in the first 2 seasons of Clone Wars, the rest is gold. So absolute gold.
Here's the thing I want to ask you guys though. So with Ahsoka happening, right? Mando now has spin-offs, and we'll talk about the other ones soon enough. But Ahsoka specifically, you're bringing Thrawn into this. I mean, you are now gonna have a Jedi running around out there. You're in that time period, like Thrawn is assembling what I would assume is the early parts of the First Order. We're looking out there into the far reaches of space where Palpatine and everything is. My assumption is we're probably going to see somebody like Snoke make his first appearance and stuff, and we kind of know how it goes. But like, because they're clearly establishing that whole thread in Mando. So, I mean, a lot of stuff.
I think that's a safe bet, yeah.
Along with Ahsoka was the announcement of Rangers of the New Republic. Now, this was something we also had rumored for a couple weeks, maybe months now, and it's official. So this is ostensibly going to be like... Is this like the Gina Carano show?
I was going to say, is it that? Or is this one... Oh no, I'm thinking of the Acolyte, the next one. Yeah, I was like, is this the High Republic stuff, or is this the other one?
Yes. So this is like the other Mando spin-off. So there's going to be 3 TV series running in conjunction with one another at the same timeline, which obviously a major crossover is going to happen between all 3 series down the road.
Ahsoka will go get Mando because Grogu or the baby or Baby Yoda.
No Grogu's here.
He's going to have his lightsaber, and it's going to be like a little pocket knife.
So
she needs him to fight. And he's going to start spinning around and screeching through the air.
Little pocket saber.
So here's the thing I want to ask right here. Is this show also going to focus on since it is the New Republic, it's clearly going to focus on the rise of the New Republic, Coruscant and all that, and how they transition to the new capital that's not Coruscant anymore. Does this also start dealing with Thrawn and the rising of the First Empire? And
I think it's got it right.
Right, and you would assume the Mandalorians are going to somehow be involved as well, at least one faction of Mandos, because, I mean, they're still out there, so...
I mean, would this time frame put Sabine, or was it Bo-Katan?
You could do both, honestly, because they're both out there.
I was going to say you could have both of those, or one or the other in there.
And
I'm not. No.
Yeah, it's.
I know they can do anything for the show as long as it's not Gina Carano. Get rid of her. No one needs her.
I have a feeling they will. They'll just. I mean, why not get Carl Weathers? Unless he dies this season, he's out there. He did Carl Weathers. He's fine. He's great.
Yeah. I mean, both of them have got to be in the show this season to actually die.
Exactly.
You've had that, one episode so far?
Yep. Which, honestly, I'm excited for this series because it is that weird time period. It's going to bounce off the other 2 shows, and I think there'll be something cool here, more of... Instead of the week-to-week, adventures, which Ahsoka's going to be more than Mando, because he's more the week-to-week, hey, here's your quest, here's your quest. I have a feeling that the Republic is going to have a contained season with, hey, guess what? The Empire remnants are developing a mini Death Star. Ooh, every Star Wars plot ever.
I mean, I would like it if it did have some self-contained episodes with an overarching plot, because that's what I liked about The Mandalorian, where it's the stories are self-contained for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there is no plot.
No, there is, man. There is, because you saw Boba Fett, didn't you? He was in there.
So
that was the plot for an episode.
It's interesting you bring up Boba Fett, because we did not get that. So,
no, we didn't.
Strange.
I didn't even notice that in the slightest. To be fair, looking at Boba Fett is in that episode.
Are you going to shame his dad bod?
I will absolutely shame that because I have the same belly. That is literally me cosplaying Boba Fett. Yeah,
I think maybe they're going to hold it off till the next set of announcements because...
possibly, because they didn't announce everything here.
No, not at all. I mean...
And why would they? You can't,
They literally said, before this began, 10 Marvel and 10 Star Wars live-action series. They announced a fraction of those that are part of it for Star Wars. So there's more Star Wars coming.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
And obviously, that's not 10 yet to be announced.
Yeah.
Because Mando's one of them, with Cassian, Obi-Wan, that's 3 of them, we got 7.
So a couple more, which we'll talk more about them, but I think we're all excited for more New Republic and see how it all ties together. And inevitably seeing Ahsoka team up with Mando, team up with the New Republic to fight Thrawn. That'll be amazing.
That makes the most sense, because obviously they're pulling from the old stuff, and people love the Thrawn.
Oh, yeah. This is something that's been rumored. Obviously, Disney announced that next year now, should have been this year, but we're going to the High Republic, which is a couple hundred years before the prequels. And we're getting books, comics, expanded, stories and all that, audio books, audio plays, whatever they're doing. And we suspected that they might be developing a TV series set in that time period. And they said towards the end of the High Republic era, we're getting Star Wars The Acolyte, which will deal with some of those Sith elements, which the Acolytes are the Sith disciples, which this makes sense. So we're ostensibly getting a Sith-based TV series 200-ish years before Episode 1, and the stories do feature in the comics and books Yoda, so I have no doubt Yoda will be one of the guest stars or co-main characters of this series, which super hyped. Like,
so does that mean we're gonna get less non-wrinkled Yoda?
Yeah, he's gonna have more hair. He's
gonna be like that one fan art from
the long meme.
Yeah,
I'm interested in this because you don't really, besides the books, you don't really get to see on screen or the going-ons of what the dark side actually does.
Mm-hmm. I just like how they said that the High Republic's only going to be a publishing line. It's just like, is it really? It's not going to be only a publishing
if the
line.
money's there, they can change the plans.
I mean, it was always going to happen. This is way too, it hasn't even started yet. And they've already announced the show. It's just like, come on, Disney.
Right.
Why lie?
Here's the thing. I am 100% dead set on the idea that once the High Republic wraps up the first season, we are 100% seeing the Mandalorian effect, where they are strategically going to be placing a couple spin-off potential characters. Because this is not over. The High Republic will be a thing that lasts for at least a decade or two, of mining it for content. So, and the fact you are calling it the Acolyte gives you an idea of the direction you're going in. This is not going to be the Star Wars that you think. The Acolytes are pretty despicable. They're torturing people and
don't. Yeah, I mean, it's don't try to challenge Star Wars fans. They'll sail it now.
Oh, I mean, so have you guys looked at any of the High Republic concept arts for the comics or the books or anything?
I've seen some.
Because
I'm trying to keep a low profile outside of the announcement.
So
art.
I think that's the best way to go into it, because obviously I'm excited for it, so I've been keeping up with everything. What I like about it is it looks like if you were to take our real world, right, and take off about 60 to 70 years of our technology, and suddenly it's like, oh wait, we still got horses we can get on by. There's Jedi riding horses, and the technology looks like it hasn't evolved as far, so it's it looks unique.
So isn't this the one they said will be the real Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Yeah. It's essentially, from what I got from it, is would be the Wild West, but with swords and stuff.
Yep.
See, I would have said medieval.
Oh, actually,
more Arthurian.
Not space cowboy.
This is not Cowboy Bebop, how Dave. Space Cowboys are Cassian Andor.
That is
Or
true.
Mando, actually. I think Mando's the Western, isn't it, really?
Well, the thing that I also liked about this is if you look at what they're setting up with the High Republic and some of the ideas that they're going for and the way the art looks and the unique takes on the characters and what they're wearing, it harkens back to that line where he says, before to more civilized age, and you kind of get that that Arthurian legend is being used to develop the Acolyte, and I don't know, it makes me so hopeful that this is going to be that Star Wars series that I've wanted. It's removed from the movies, so you aren't held back by anything, which is super exciting.
But you'll still get you remember this?
Oh God, yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
Oh man.
And obviously Yoda's the obvious connection, as you said. The dude's 900 years old.
Yoda's he's the member berry of this series.
Yeah.
There's still fucking juice in those member berries.
But can we just rename Star Wars to Yoda?
Yoda, right?
Everything revolves around this little
thing
guy.
that sort of revolves around the whole clone era and everything is the Bad Batch, which we got.
Oh, it looks so good.
Dude, this looks. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Big Batch or the Bad Batch episode because I understand what they were going for, but to me it was the first time I watched it, I was just oh, this is clearly a pilot, and then it was. But
Yep.
rewatching it, I really like it more, and I'm actually really excited by this because this looks incredible. It's.
I like how they didn't do the typical thing of where they could have easily just changed the art style.
Yep.
It still looks old but new at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the evolution of that type of art style and engine. And what I like is if you compare, let's say, the last season of the Clone Wars that Disney just did to the last season before, and then you look at Rebels and the new series, you could almost look at the Bad Batch and go, if they were to just add real-world textures on this space fight, it would look like real life. It would look like it could fit into, a movie, which, god damn, that's incredible artwork. And
because I've only watched the Clone Wars and I've only just started Rebels. I think I'm 10 episodes in season 1, and I'm just this looks horrendous again in my eyes. Why?
Yeah, Rebels gets better once they find their footing, like Clone Wars.
So I'm giving every Star Wars cartoon a good long breath. It's you can go on for as long as you need to actually grab me. I'm gonna watch you all anyway because I have to at this point.
Yeah.
They got me to do homework, so you win, Disney.
Gotta do it.
That's fine.
It's funny though. It's nice though that all of this Star Wars stuff, right, was introduced by Kathleen Kennedy, who clearly was placed there by Devin Filoni, so he could be here, have your spotlight, Kathleen. You're fired.
Is Devin Filoni Dave Filoni's evil twin brother?
Yes, he's the Sith.
That explains the mustache then.
So I don't know. People are still thinking Kathleen is gone, despite her being in that video, very prominent, and talking about her long future with Star Wars that's still coming. I was just all right, that's all right.
Here's the thing: I would not be surprised if when her contract is up, she's "Hey, yep, I'm out."
I wouldn't be surprised, but I think that with all the positivity that she just got from this and everything she's done and everything she's setting up, they'll throw more money at her because...
Oh, yeah. It'll be the Bob Iger, I'm retiring for the entire 2010s.
Yeah.
It's this is my last year, guys. Okay.
God.
Okay, but Iger, see you in 2050. No.
Yep.
I'm going to upload your consciousness forever.
Well, you know what? One thing that I would 100% say nobody saw coming was Kathleen Kennedy builds up the anticipation of a new movie, and then here comes Patty Jenkins roller skating to an X-Wing. Oh, wow, we're getting Rogue Squadron. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is
wild.
Absolutely wild.
This is one of the most unexpected announcements from Star Wars. What in the world? And
is this Disney being hey, we're sorry about Thor: The Dark World?
100%.
Do you want to do an X-Wing movie after Rise of Skywalker to set up the future? Question mark.
And
here's a big bag of money.
That is the thing they said. This is after the trilogy, so this is our first look post Rey, post First Order, like all that. I'm really excited by that idea, and who knows how far they'll jump, but Patty Jenkins, like, you could tell when she was talking about it, she was getting very emotional because, like she said, her dad was a fighter pilot, and she would watch, and she always wanted to tell a fighter pilot story, but nobody would let her. And suddenly, Disney's like, we want to do Rogue Squadron. You wanted to do a dogfighting movie. Do you want to do Rogue Squadron? And match made in heaven. Like, this to me sounds like we're going to get one of the best dogfighting films of all time, and it's going to be a Star Wars movie. Amazing. Just
step aside. I can't remember. Steven Spielberg DC movie. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, Warhawks? Something like
that? Is it
Warhawks? I don't remember. Now, I want to speculate here for a second. Is Poe Dameron joining this one or not?
Oh, he's gotta be.
Please.
He's gotta be. He's gotta be.
But make good with Oscar Isaac, for the love of God.
And by make good, we mean pay him more.
Money heals all.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll never work for Disney again. Hey, I'm Moon Knight. Not officially Moon Knight, but hey, I'm Moon Knight.
Yeah, but I'm Moon Knight, yeah.
You guys excited for a droid story?
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
You'll get the new droid that they're gonna be rolling out to get all those new toy deals.
What a time, right? What a time to be alive. So that's it. I'm excited for Rogue Squadron. We'll see.
Is this a sequel to Rogue One?
I don't think, honestly, because
are we gonna play it like that, or is it just having two separate movies with Rogue in the title? Because people again, I think it's a sequel.
I think it's just a movie with Rogue, because there is a series that is supposed to be a spin-off from Rogue One.
Here's the thing. We'll talk about Endor in a second, but here's my takeaway. The first trailer will say, paying respects to those that came before, quick flashes of Rogue One. Generations later, the Rogue Squadron is the most formidable, first New Republic. They'll just quickly reference and be like, no, now it's its own thing. Go with it, right? Like,
because to be honest, obviously not a direct sequel because it's years after the fact, but being that, hey, yeah, this is kind of a sequel to the movie that set up Rogue Squadron.
Mm-hmm.
The origins of that squad, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Then what you call the third?
It'll be half positioned as a sequel, right? Like, it's like, yeah, kind of. They gave us the idea, but it's decades after. Go with it, which, cool. It sounds like it'll be good, so I'm excited.
So it'd be cool if, a Rogue something was the movie the trilogy in between trilogies.
Yeah. Honestly.
So, hey, the first one was in between the prequels and the originals, and then the originals, and even though it's not in between the originals and the sequels, but...
Mm-hmm.
They could make one like that.
I could see that. We'll find out. Long awaited, for me at least, Lando was confirmed as a limited series, which obviously it's going to focus on Lando. The teaser image showed the Falcon back, which the Falcon that Solo ended the movie with, which to me this just says we're bringing back Solo, but we're not calling it Solo. It's going to be those two teaming up with the Falcon to some sort of mini mission. I'm super hyped for this one. This is it.
So basically, this is as close as you're going to get to Solo 2.
Yup, and I will take it.
Pretty much. Yeah, you might get some other series, for all we know, about Solo 2 and or Solo 2 characters, and they'll just play it off that way.
Yeah. I mean, I'm super...
But do they bring Billy D. Williams back?
I wouldn't mind it. If maybe there's some flashing around to different Solo, Solo standalone adventures of each Lando. Man, that's going to get a little confusing.
Because they could do, because obviously Rise of Skywalker set him up.
Yep.
It's like, hey, why didn't we go find out who's your parents? It's like, well, it's clearly you.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. But So yeah, you could kind of like have that as the structuring device, and he's like telling a story to young Donald Glover Lando, and sort of, or about young Donald Glover Lando.
Maybe like it picks.
That's how I'd play it up.
Honestly, I would play it the same way. It's him and like who we know is going to end up being his daughter, and they have kind of an adventure, and then he's like, "Let me tell you about some of my adventures I've had because you got to get to know me, and I'm your father." So then they tell that tale, and here's the takeaway, because something they announce later, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, in regards to a certain Sith appearing to fight somebody else that sort of people are like, that might break canon. You can 100% now fit Darth Maul into Lando and have Solo involved and still get away with it being like, yep, this works. So I have a feeling we'll see those threads that were left over with the crime syndicates and all that, and Kiara pay off in this. And hell yeah, that sounds great to me. Like,
I say, I'm here. I'm on board for it. I'm all on board.
Dude, I mean,
I'm on board for everything here, really, mate. The droids thing, I'm a bit like, yeah. I know it's a reboot and it's like the little kiddie thing, but it's fine. I'll still probably watch it.
Oh God, yeah. They did also confirm that the Rogue One prequel, which was one of the worst titles, like Rogue One Andor, it's just called Star Wars Andor. It's gonna obviously be a 12-episode series prequel that leads up into Rogue One. And they showed off a little sizzle reel. They are shooting the series now. They showed off some concept art and like motion and everything. And I would say this did more to excite me than the initial announcement, because it's like, oh, I finally get the sense of what you guys are doing here, like exploring this shady side of the rebellion and everything. So I was really excited to see like the sizzle reel and have the official announcement of it, and see that they literally showed off like, no, this is like a movie production, but 12 hours of it worth of content, and it looked solid.
It's just nice to know that it's happening.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, because that's one of the first things they announced.
Yeah. I mean, it was the first thing they announced.
Yeah,
like,
actually.
Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, okay. Now, where's that been for the last 2 years? You've only just started? Cool. Cool.
And this kind of ties in, like, you had Andor, so this ties in with the whole Visions thing, because back-to-back they announced Andor, which we're excited about, but Visions is going to be a bunch of animated anime shorts that are all fitting into the Star Wars universe, done by what they said is some of the top artists and people working in the anime industry. And I'm like, this sounds freaking incredible. Like, this sounds good.
100%.
Yeah,
this was one of like the highest on my list from these announcements.
Yeah, and depending on who they get, you could get some really nice action sequences.
So it's like this is, let's be real, trying to get a foothold in Asia.
Oh yes.
It worked for Spider-Man with the Sentai stuff. They're gonna do it for Star Wars.
I mean, they technically still do, because a lot of Asia loves Star Wars.
Not the mainland China, which is the one they're trying to break into. They hate Star Wars.
Japan
loves China.
Does not get Star Wars.
From what I've seen, a lot of artists love Star Wars.
I mean,
might, but as a whole, no.
The country,
it's
because I'm just saying, because from over the years of like watching and stuff, I've seen a lot of artists draw a lot of Star Wars references, to even outright drawing some of the original trilogy art pieces to having references to them in some of the shows.
That's the thing I've noticed, and I have a friend who lives in he used to live in China, lives in Japan now, and he loved Star Wars, but he said the mass populace awareness does not care. But a lot of the top artists there love it, and a lot of their like retro futuristic art and like cyberpunk that they draw is influenced by Star Wars. So they have an appreciation, but the crowds don't, which is a weird.
I'd say it's like a direct comparison. You come over here and look at, say, someone like Tom Brevoort from Marvel, loves like Spaceship Yamamoto, or whatever it's called. Do you think the mass gives a crap about that? No.
Yeah, it's
no. Like, you go out in the street and ask someone what that is, and they're gonna look at you with like the blankest stare.
Here, okay, so I want to bring our next... You talk about a blanket stare. How about the fact that we got the logo for Taika's Star Wars movie, and they said this will be something wholly unique, and it looked like the logo was made out of a giant slug or something. I don't even know what the hell was happening.
I missed this logo. I haven't actually seen it.
It's like this weird purple thing. Star Wars looks like it's a rotting... I don't even know how to describe it. It looks different, and it is the Taika movie, which they confirmed he's deep in development and will be directing and all that. So, what do we make of a standalone Taika, he can do whatever he wants Star Wars movie?
I say yes.
Right? Like
that's yes.
It will revolve around the animal that eats porks.
Oh, best thing! That's the best thing Star Wars ever done.
I mean, probably. Why not? Like it fits in, and I'm excited to see like what unique spin he can bring to the universe and where he's gonna place. Like in my mind, I think he's going to go, and I mean this is a compliment so people can understand. I'm not saying he's copying him. I think he's going to go full James Gunn with this one, where James Gunn got the Guardians and he said, what James Gunnisms can I bring into this franchise? And he just went for it. I think they let Taika do whatever he wants with this film, and it's gonna have Star Wars on it, and we're going to recognize a few things, but largely it's going to be like, I never thought I would see this in a Star Wars film. Like, that's how I'm feeling about it.
No, this is 100% Disney being like, we can't let anyone else have this guy. Mm-hmm. We need to keep Taika on board. Give him whatever he wants to do. And since don't question it, just let him do it.
And it's funny enough that we started to hear right about this movie the moment that Akira started to fall apart for WB, where they were like, we don't know. And Disney's like, Taika, Star Wars, you just did Mando. Yeah. Here's the thing. It's like, they're definitely trying to lock him down. I
still really want Taika's Akira movie.
Same.
That's blasphemous to some people, but it's like, I just need to see how that man handles that movie.
Well, he would handle it better than most people in Hollywood, I feel. So, you know.
More than likely. It's just like, how does Taika handle Akira of all things? Yeah. It's just like, what the hell? Oh. I need that timeline, but we're probably not going to get it now, so.
Next up, one of the biggest confirmations from this entire thing, Obi-Wan. Cool, we know what's happening. It's officially starting production soon in the spring. And then they're like, well, Hayden Christensen is back as Darth Vader, and the two are going to have an epic duel. Oh. Okay.
Will it be around sand? Please let it be sand.
Yes.
Dude. I mean, that'll be the next high ground. It's just the sand. Face it, Anakin, I have the sand ground.
I mean, dude, this is really sounding amazing. And from the footage description, from what they showed the investors, he's definitely getting off of Tatooine, and they are going all out with this series. Like, it sounds like this has an epic scope of space travel, multiple planets, the Darth Vader battle, like him hunting Jedi still. Like, there's a lot happening here. So
yeah, because let's be honest, the main point everyone wants to know is, when is this thing set?
Mm-hmm. And
it can't be within like 4 years of A New Hope, because we know all that stuff.
What I understand, it's 10 years after Episode 3, which means 10 years before A New Hope. So it's enough time.
So it's right in the middle.
Yeah. So it's before Rebels finale, which people will know how that goes and where Obi-Wan's left off towards the end of that series. So it's before that. He's retreated to Tatooine, and he's been there for at least 5 to 6 years. So they got a little bit of time to tell this story here. And my interest is, if Obi-Wan is leaving the planets and it looks like he's maybe looking for other survivors, I highly suspect we're getting Cal Kestis from Fallen Order. Like, that's going to tie in there. Like,
yeah.
The actor is a perfect age. Jedi. Right? Yeah. Like, it makes sense. And I won't be shocked if we see Darth Vader just mutilate him. Like, to set the stakes of this series. Being like, yeah, he killed Cal.
R.I.P. Jedi Fallen Order 2.
Right?
Yeah, I was like, hopefully it just takes right after the first one, because
this is the thing, like, this could be that the one thing where the Star Wars story group has been a bit loose with itself.
Mm-hmm.
They've been so tightly wound. We're like, no, we can't do this. And now it's like, yeah, we're just gonna untighten it a little bit and get Hayden back. Which getting Hayden back on its own is like, damn, that's huge in and of itself.
And the fact he's gonna play Darth Vader as well, like he's gonna be in the suit. It's like, oh, okay, and so
which kind of gives the impression of it's got to be the younger Vader.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to be closer to the prequels and the originals, but
yeah, and
I guess we'll see how it goes.
I mean, does this also mean we're gonna see like Grand Moff Tarkin back again? Like, are they gonna do the CG thing again? Because you're gonna have to assume we see Palpatine at some point, probably. Like,
I mean, there's ways around all that.
Yeah,
I think it depends on their hand. Like, you could do what like Rogue One did, and Vader just is kind of there. Like, make him that Force again.
Dude, make Obi-Wan go to Mustafar and see him in the castle.
Yes, please.
Rematch, ultimate rematch. Damn, that'd be something.
You know what? I'm convinced now they're going to do that because they want that nostalgia factor. Where else are you going to have a rematch other than Mustafar?
Truth.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
It's going to be the most masturbatory finale of all time. Can't wait. Cannot wait.
It's my word of 2020.
So that's it. We're wrapping up Star Wars, and now we're just going to transition. Oh boy, after Star Wars, Disney was like, we're saving Kevin Feige for last. And you know why. We all know why. Here it is.
He's the only one with a personality.
He's literally out there happy, smiling. He doesn't sound like a robot. And not only that, we're going to update you on every single thing we have in development, confirming things, long-standing rumors, whatever you will. So to start it off, we're going to talk about the trailer. So first up, WandaVision. Dude, WandaVision, that trailer was, I think, the one that people needed. Because people had some general ideas, and I saw interest among my friends. This was the trailer that sold my friends on it, from what I saw. They're like, I finally get what they're doing here. And I think it gave us just enough to tease of what we all wanted, but keep enough away that the mysteries, like, get here fast. So,
yeah.
I mean, I know you're the most excited for it here. So what's your takeaway, Mitch? Give us some of your...
It's perfect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this trailer. It is a masterpiece. That's my take. Short and sweet. That's my take. Don't need to say anything else. Enough said.
How do you think this goes, though? Because there's a lot of things in here that are kind of hidden throughout the trailer, like the confusion between all the characters, Monica.
It's nice to kind of know that it's not Wanda directly making all this stuff, because they have the forces be like, who's done this to you? So it's clearly not her. And like, I think even from the first trailer that was obvious. Like, no, it's the nosy neighbor, Agatha, or Agnes, whatever they want to call her, but we all know it's Agatha Harkness. So she's clearly doing something. What and why, we still aren't sure. I just love how like they stuck to that sitcom style. It's like, no, like this house is a set, but the background's clearly a screen.
Yeah,
like this thing is a painting. They're literally 2 foot away from this thing. But as to how it goes, I don't know, because like the last trailer before, Monica looked like she was working from the outside and she was going in, but this gives the impression that she starts off inside.
Yeah,
not knowing who she is. So, But I think it's safe to say like it's going to start off at least relatively normal, because they say it's their home. So it's like, has she just generally moved to the suburbs?
Right.
Like she's just moved out away from the city and everything, and now she's going to be like, hey, something's going wrong here. I need to fight for my little house. But that's the general direction. I have no clue.
Yeah, it's
no clue how it's going to go.
It asked a lot of questions, which I think more so than any other trailer from the entire Marvel thing or anything they hyped. This one asks the most and has the most amount of mystery, which I think is honestly great. So we'll talk more about it soon.
So I think you're going to have to question everything about what we've seen from these two.
Yep.
And I mean, literally, even details that you probably didn't even think about or didn't realize you should have thought about. Not that you should have thought about them anyway, because it's kind of like, why would that even need answering? Mm-hmm. But it was something like silly.
Yeah.
Some weird detail you never knew.
It's going to be tucked in there, right? Like, yeah, it's the devil is going to be in the details, I have a feeling, with the show. And we're going to be looking at Easter eggs like 6 months after it's done airing. Somebody's going to go, did anybody notice this? It's like, oh, wow, that's pretty big, right? Like,
because like, is that the actual Infinity Stone in that trailer, or is that something else?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because it looked an awful lot like the stone Vision has in his head, but it didn't look like the stone that Thanos pulled out. It looked a bit more like cut like a gem.
Yeah, which again, we don't know what the perception of reality, quote unquote, is in the show. So I have a feeling that, we'll talk more about all that here really soon and everything, because there's stuff that we're going to talk about that touches upon everything. But the big thing here also that they kind of tease and play around with and want to touch upon is, you look at the show, and as Kevin Feige introduced it, he says that this show is leading directly into Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. So it's like,
the narrative's changed on that.
Yep.
The narrative is 100% changed on that. Because before it was Loki, now it's Spider-Man. Which is interesting.
I mean, this is clearly one of those delay changes that I have to put in there, right? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, Batista came out recently, didn't he? Saying, like, yeah, he believes that plans changed, things got shuffled around, some narrative beats are going to change.
Yep.
Just to fit everything, so maybe no.
Well, we'll talk about it more soon, but this was, to me, what I needed to see. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, first big blowout trailer, and we know the series is coming in March now, which, holy crap, that's rapid, super excited about it.
So that's just like as WandaVision finishes.
Yep. And here's the thing that got me with this, and I was honestly, I know I should have expected this, but I don't know why I didn't, but this looked like your big budget Mission Impossible. It looks like a legit movie. There is nothing that screams TV series about this. It's that high quality.
You can say that about all of them. They all look fantastic.
Yeah, they do.
Like Mandalorian, it doesn't look like a show, but there's still some very showy elements to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of be like, yeah, it feels a bit more like a TV show than no. But all these is like, yeah, these don't feel like TV shows, especially this one. It's insane how different this looks.
Yeah, they seem to be. It definitely feels like it's the Winter Soldier movie, but just, hey, more of what you all love about that in a TV show. I mean, we get to see the relationships. We see a little bit more of how they're setting this up. Like, Flag Smasher and his crew is going to be villains in this, which everybody's like, oh, wow, Flag Smasher, huh? Okay, cool.
Was Flag Smasher in this?
Yeah, that's the people with the mask and the hand on their face. That's Flag Smasher's army.
Oh, that's Effie's Nest from Solo, isn't it?
Yep.
I was wondering. Yeah.
So,
isn't she rumored to be playing Songbird? Or whoever Songbird starts... I can't remember who Songbird starts out of. I know she's not Songbird when she first appears.
I mean, a lot of rumors, which I guess...
There's a ton of rumors.
This will play into... what I also really loved about this was we get to see, like, what is extensively an action sequence featuring the Falcon flying around, and that looks just unreal. Like that.
It looks like a movie.
Yeah,
it's just like, this is. I mean, admittedly, you could say like, they just took it from Captain Marvel, where she's flying through and everything, but it looks like a movie. It's crazy, absolutely crazy,
and hyping up all those elements and everything of it, which looks pretty. Damn awesome. Our first trailer to Loki, our first real big trailer, which gives us insight into where this series is going. And this series is going everywhere, apparently.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy looking at it. And do like the fact that they or how it ended, where you get to see his new costume, and you saw the references to, was it President Loki?
Yeah, the whole vote Loki thing.
Yeah,
that's that costume gives me hope that Wanda's gonna get a little wimple, and wimple is the crown she wears. For those that don't know, the actual name of what that thing is a legitimate thing. Huh. But like, he's literally just wearing that thing like she would, and it's like, yeah, I need Wanda to have that now. It just looks too good.
I mean, the thing that this trailer did for me was finally sell me on why I should be excited for Loki.
100%.
Because I wasn't excited.
No, talking to people last night, it's like this show for Loki is not what we were supposed to get. This is not the original idea for Loki.
Yeah.
It had a completely different, more Thor Norse mythology story to go on. Are some ants going to carry over? I'd assume so.
Yeah.
But this is way beyond what it was supposed to be, and I was not sold on it. I said it multiple times in the show. Thing. This won me over near enough instantly.
It won me over when Loki was DB Cooper. I just started laughing when I saw that. That's
the crazy bit. It's like, is this the direction we're going in? Like, we knew he was gonna like play about human history, but like, DB Cooper, really?
Didn't also Feige say that it's like a super agent TV show, like super secret spy show? It's like, what? Like,
it's a crime thriller.
Yeah, so
I remember him saying
it looks like the variant is going to use Loki as a mystery figure throughout history, maybe, to do heists and
yeah.
Dude, it looks like insane.
Yeah, it's cool. Using Loki's magic for shapeshifting to pull off heists throughout time.
Mm-hmm.
But like, obviously it's not confirmed that it's Black Widow in there, but there's someone who looks suspiciously like Black Widow sitting on a purple planet that looks suspiciously like Voromir.
Yeah, it does.
But it's just got a giant broken moon, and there's also that, the color palette is very, very much Voromir. Whether maybe that's like not Widow at all, and it could be like the Queen of the Norns, and they're going to get a bit of Asgardian stuff in there. Who knows?
I mean,
a man can hope, but
it 100% looks like. I mean, he outright name drops him, so Heimdall is going to be in this, right? Like, we're getting Heimdall because we see him help when he's DB Cooper to beam him out. So,
yes, true. Yeah,
I mean, dude, like this series, to me, this was the trailer. And don't disrespect to anything like Falcon and Winter Soldier, because that's my most anticipated Marvel TV series, because it has to be, because fanboy, right? This one did the most to get me hyped, because I had no hype for Loki. Like, it was at the bottom of my list, like, under logos was Loki, because I was like, I don't care, you can't make me care. And then, sure enough, they got me super interested, and that's what a good show should do. And it did it, so...
And this is not going to be a one and done. I can tell you, there's no way a Loki show is a one and done.
Especially with this concept.
Not when you make him like a secret agent through time. Mm-hmm. This is going to be on for at least 3 seasons.
And that is something, that's very, I would say, interesting about this, is that this has the potential to just last for a very long time, which, again, that's fine, because there's a lot that you can explore with this concept and idea that's worth exploring, in my opinion. So,
and apparently people are saying it's Sophie Di Martino,
yes,
who's Black Widow. So I assume that she speculated for female Loki. Could very well be female Loki.
It could. We have no idea, because multiverses, right? Yeah. So, but
one thing we haven't touched on.
Oh boy.
I think you know where I'm going to go with this, because. Chancellor Kangs, like they were Kang heads, right? And Kang statues.
Okay, so I was going to bring that up to you.
Resemblance to Kang.
Exactly what I thought. That is 100% Council of Kangs. Like, if it's not, you effed up. But I don't think they did.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's like that's 100% Kang. I think you can kind of gather looking at like a destroyed New York with Avengers Tower like at a 90-degree angle and everything like with that purple place getting bombarded with stuff. Like Kang clearly doesn't want shit to go sideways.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, this is I need to rule this planet. I need to sit intact.
Yeah.
So is Kang going to show up in this? I assume he has to, right? You're going to get Jonathan Majors in the blue face.
I mean, if we're getting the TVA in this, which we are, and how they're playing with everything else that's being played with, you know, in the rest of, well, pretty much everything that they're doing, I think it kind of makes sense because it just fits in there. It fits in there. It makes sense. They said they're all going to be interconnected again, so...
Yeah, because why would Loki listen to old man Owen Wilson?
Right, exactly.
Who, by the way, it's nothing like Owen Wilson apart from the nose trying to get off his face. That's the only way I kind of figured it was him before he did the little talky bit. Yep. Which is like, that's definitely Owen Wilson. So, like... And also, if he's going to be going for president, like, if that even is the same Loki that we're following, because... Obviously, this isn't our Loki because our Loki's dead. This is another Loki who hasn't had that character development. So the whole President Loki thing could very well be a different Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Because the logo does give the impression there's going to be a ton of Lokis in this.
Oh, God.
Like, if that's the Loki we're following and he's like completely messed about through time, wouldn't it make sense for Kang to actually make an appearance and be like, look.
Exactly. Bick, yo, I'm the only one that messes with time, okay?
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Sit down. You're a little frost giant runt. Like, stop talking for 5 seconds.
Get in line, bro. Like,
do stuff, or I will unborn you. Like,
Perfect. So, Loki, a lot of excitement there. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully more details from Loki to Thor, Love and Thunder. They officially confirmed what we knew. Christian Bale is the villain. He's playing Gore the God Butcher.
Which we did not know.
Nope.
Yeah, I was surprised when they announced that. And I was like, I love that.
I say people were like, this man's playing Dario Agger. He's playing, I can't think of that weird cosmic guy who's like half a robot, like a block down. What's his name?
I can't remember, but I know who you're talking about.
It's a Captain Marvel thing.
Trying to remember, but no.
What is? I want to say Michael something, but I don't think that's right.
What? Wasn't there a suspecting it could be Mangog also? And,
I was putting Mangog out there. Michael Korvac, that's the one.
Michael Korvac, yes. The time like Korvac. A manipulant, yeah.
Yeah, like that was speculated. I was hoping for Mangog because like he could do a really good Mangog, and it's very Taika to get Christian Bale for being Mangog. And obviously, people threw out Gore because why are you not going to throw out Gore?
Yeah,
it's like no, Gore's too big. We just had Hela. Hela's they said they took some of Gore for Hela, so why would they do Gore?
Well,
but I guess.
He was right for them.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess Taika went, I really like Gore. We're going to do Gore. Like, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Sure.
And also for the storyline, I suppose it makes sense. You know, Gore was about this time in the book, so it makes a lot of sense.
It has a perfect lineup. It fits in with everything, right? It's like a nicely formed, this really works. So it's like, sure, why not? This honestly sounds great because Christian Bale is great, and I think he's gonna deliver.
He's gonna absolutely nail the crap out of this role.
Now, seeing how his transformations work, I'm fully expecting when we see Christian Bale, he's actually gonna have transformed into Gore. No special effects or anything.
He's gonna get that Voldemort plastic surgery.
Yep, just done.
He's gonna go out into space and find a symbiote to have as a sword.
I believe it. Well, do you think? Because people are already making a connection. Do you think that's what they're going to allude to here? Some sort of symbiote
they could very well do. I wouldn't be surprised if like they have him with the sword and it looks the same as Hela's. It's like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You can have Thor be like, I've seen that sword before. And you can just then run with it from that and be like, oh yeah, she got this from me. Or that was a small part of this thing in these sort of symbiote stuff.
Yeah.
And then that's how we get Venom on the planet. Which, hey,
I mean,
I'm cool with that.
That's a perfect way to do it. Honestly,
Yeah.
You can explain Venom, you can explain, how Gore does all that, and it's kind of cool that we're gonna get that level of a villain though, and we're gonna have multiple, like, two Thors fighting. We don't know what else is gonna happen in this because, again, this movie, there's just so much to talk about that we.
Now he obviously is called Gore the God Butcher.
Yep.
Are we gonna see other gods?
Hercules.
Yeah, you'll see other gods face down.
Like, could we, like, the Marvel version of the Olympians are spacebound as well.
Yep.
So, could we see those?
Here's what you do.
Yeah, I mean, you can see. You could probably see Olympus with all the gods killed.
Yeah.
All the Olympians got to be Eternals and put Herc in there. And
No, keep them separated.
just do
Keep
it.
them separated. No, that's dumb.
I mean,
Say it outright.
for the sake of easiness, they could do it, but yeah,
We are way past easy.
that is true. That is true.
We're having Eternals, for crying out loud. We are past easy. We're having a show we don't even know how many bloody Lokis are in there. All right. We're starting phase 4. The first thing after Endgame, as Far From Home, is WandaVision.
Yeah.
We are at this point, if you don't accept anything and can't get your head around what's going on, they do not care.
Yup,
we
that's
are
true.
here 10 years in. Like, you've had enough time now to give a crap.
Enough time giving a crap. Let's talk about Secret Invasion. That's officially the Nick Fury series. So, wow.
I just want to say right now, well done to Bleeding Cool for having this thing like 5 years ago.
Legit.
Fair play. Everyone took a crap on them, including myself. Fair play. I will. That was crazy. That's crazy.
This series, this sounds like it's going to be some next level, like, we're really doing this and playing with this whole Secret Invasion to a completely different degree than most people thought, which sounds pretty awesome.
This is if you didn't think we were serious about this, and if you just thought Disney Plus shows were the throwaways, you are wrong. Absolutely wrong. This is insane. Absolutely insane.
I mean, it is like for people, at least for the casual crowd, it's going to be like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah. See, here's the question. Here's what I want to know, because Secret Invasion is a very, very tricky thing to. It's fine for comics. You can retcon whatever you like and move on like it didn't happen. But with something like this, you got to be really careful, because you can't be like, oh yeah, Captain America was a Skrull this entire time. Ooh. It's like that's like, why would you ever go back and watch those movies?
So, I'm gonna make a prediction that here's what I'm seeing. Secret Invasion is going to happen in a weird, possession type of way. They're not going to touch big characters, but I fully suspect we're going to get a bunch of minor mid-class heroes all throughout this, and they're going to be at the center of it. Like, it's not your big, like, Ms.Marvel, because that's going to be a big character, which we'll talk about soon enough. It's going to be, like, slightly lower than that, like, some street level. Like, if you were going to introduce like a concept of a Luke Cage or something, back into the MCU, Secret Invasion might be a perfect way to do it. That's
true. But Feige, the way he worded it was interesting, because he said every facet of life.
Yeah.
So it's like, are they just going to go, no, the heroes aren't Skrulls? This is going to be the Winter Soldier twist, but on a bigger scale? Like, do they actually have a massive pair of balls and go that Elon Musk, the guy who did Facebook, they're aliens,
bro? That would be next level.
Do they go that route? Like, I hope they do.
Oh,
that's got like everyone making all this technology, like Bar Stark and Pym. Yeah, they were Skrulls.
I mean,
world leaders, they're Skrulls.
That they could legit play into that whole reptilian thing and say it like that, like the world elite. I would have loved that.
Skrulls making a frog
So it's so it's kind of like they're trying to figure out who is actually a Skrull and who isn't.
Yeah.
Because that to me is more of a Nick Fury thing. Is not which hero. Like, obviously, yes, which hero is very much a Nick Fury thing, but like which world leader is not right.
Mm-hmm.
It's also interesting that they're doing Secret Invasion with Skrulls and not Kree.
Yeah.
Just imagining Nick Fury being a conspiracy theorist and telling people he's seen their eyes change to reptilian.
Love it.
Oh.
That's how you bring back J. Jonah Jameson to keep spreading it.
Tell him he's crazy, and Nick Fury is saying that JJ is real because no one can act like that even as a Skrull.
I want a scene in the MCU where Nick Fury is trying to convince Joe Rogan that they exist and he doesn't believe.
He's on the podcast.
Yes.
Is that what's your source? What's your source on that? Like,
Jamie, can you bring up your source? Jamie, bring it up, Jamie.
It's like, oh damn! Look at that. He's right.
Yo, Nick, have you seen this YouTube video of this dog killing this king cobra? It's awesome.
Hey, can you give me some of that space DMT, please? We need this to happen.
I need every episode of this to open up with J. Jonah Jameson just spouting off a different thing every time.
Dude, that would be great.
That's just set up for what's going to happen in the episode.
You know what? We got that trailer to Marvel's What If, and it gives us a better idea of what we can expect. So, what did you think? Because first off, I just want to say the animation, my God, this is like, you can tell they put actual money and effort into this at least. Like,
oh yeah, you can tell they've thrown money at it, but at the same time, I need to get used to it.
Yeah.
I think any trailer and any clip I see, I'm not going to be used to it. I need to actually watch a full episode to kind of get it's not obviously the same as Tom and Jerry. So like, don't be like, oh, it's not like Tom and Jerry in the comments, but it looks like it's 3D pretending to be 2D. And my brain is just like, I don't get it. But for the most part, it looks great. It's not janky like other 3D cartoons are at the start. It's God.
I think it's because they're trying to go for that cel-shaded comic book look.
Yeah, I think that very well could be, actually. I think you might be right. Well, because it does look... the colouring looks different to most other things.
Yeah. I do love, though, like, all the what-ifs that they're showing, because they look real interesting. Like Doctor Strange fighting a evil Doctor Strange on Asgard by the look. I don't even know, like...
I thought that was in Wakanda?
Maybe, actually. Like, it
looked like the tree where the flowers grow.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong on that, but...
Honestly, we all could be, because they're just literally... They seem to be literally going... Who had a crazy idea and why could it work? And then they just went, well, okay, just do it. Like, and there's some that are obviously more safer. Like, what if Peggy was a super soldier? All right, but then there's like, Cap's a zombie. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that. It's just like, cool. Zombie Cap.
Yeah.
But then there's weird ones like, what if T'Challa was Star-Lord?
Yeah.
I need to know where that idea came from.
Yeah.
Like, who thought of that?
You can't yourself. It's just at the room. It's just what if T'Challa went to space?
It's just like I just want to know that idea. Like you could have picked anyone. Like why T'Challa? Of all things.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one's always stuck out to me as the weirdest one.
The only thing I could probably think of is like, what was that subgenre? Afrofuturism. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I could like draw a connection to.
Mm-hmm.
They all look really cool.
Yeah. No, it looks great. I honestly just can't wait to see what direction they... After what seems like it's been 2 to 3 years of talks, Ironheart is officially confirmed to be coming to the MCU. We got the actress. It's a live-action series. Her font is literally Iron Man's font, so make of that what you will. But I'm one of those people that's excited. I know many people are already against it, but
of course they are.
I'm just cautious. Saying because
Bendis ain't gonna have a hand in this.
That's the reason I'm cautious, because I wanted to say that Bendis can't write a teenage girl from Chicago at all.
Look, Bendis hasn't been part of the creative process for these movies since Age of Ultron.
I'm just saying because they're going to probably draw from. But she's not going to be sitting there for 20 minutes in the same spot, repeating every other word.
Right.
No, she does not bend to speak.
I will say, like, I personally was contacted by somebody that had a hand in something with the early development of this. And I verified, and they were legit. They were honestly shocked that we were one of the only people that was excited and talking about this in a good light and excited for it. And trust me when I tell you, those reports that we heard about years ago saying that the script is being written in Hollywood and people are claiming it's one of the tightest Marvel scripts that's ever been written is 100% true. And the fact that they're transitioning it to a Disney series now makes me even more excited, because
I say it makes sense. I think at this point, like, they're obviously serious about this. It's not like, oh, they just put in all like the minorities and people of color on the TV show because they don't think they can handle a movie. Like, we know that's not the case with these announcements and everything else. So giving her the long form storytelling that I think she needs is the best way forward for her. Like, her and Kamala, like, absolutely need long form storytelling.
Okay, so I want to bring this up. They already cast the actress, Dominique, can't remember the last name.
Thorne, I remember that purely because it's Destiny. Well, I take it as a Destiny reference.
So she's appearing somewhere else first, right? Ms.Marvel, maybe a Spider-Man school student. Like, are they going to do something like that?
Which is first? Is Ironheart coming first, or is Armor Wars coming first?
I'm going to guess Ironheart. Maybe
I'm assuming Armor Wars, because it said that Don will be taking a starring role in that. So
well,
because it's just
for a minute we'll jump back and forth. So
these two I'm counting as one. They didn't say it outright. I'm convinced these two are.
So
these are their own little mini thing.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't it make sense if at the end of the series she has this armor and Rhodey shows up and he's like, "So you got your own iron suit, huh? I need help. There's an armor war happening." Name drop.
So you can work that way, or you can have it like that way. The only problem I'd have with that is it's very easy to fall into the trap of, well, if Ironheart's before that, why? Wouldn't it make more sense for him to go after someone who has the Stark technology to make these suits?
I mean,
so it's because you all know her thing is, she literally hacks in, gets the plans, builds the suit.
Yeah, she was able to steal an older version of the Iron Man suit.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that fits so well into the Armor Wars storyline that it can be like he just busts in, is like, "You're just a kid, like, hey, you're all right." And
it's got to be why they announced them back to back, because and I mean, I'm glad we're going to get the War Machine show. Armor Wars, when I think about it, does make sense because everybody's going to want to try to make their own Tony Stark suits. I was convinced. It's like we've already they've done an Armor Wars kind of already. Yeah,
a little bit in the Iron Man movie. It's like, we're never going to see that again. I mean, like, doing the battle is never going to happen. That's like, oh, okay.
And like, let's just be real. Okay. Justin Hammer's 100% getting
100% coming.
This
back.
Is his series as well. He's coming back. So it's.
Honestly, in trying to gather my brain when you saw this logo pop up, because it's like, how the hell am I getting Armor Wars thing? Like, I just don't comprehend it. Like, my brain was like, how the hell did they not announce Justin Hammer?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, out of everything they've announced, how was that not the easiest thing to say?
Yeah, be like, oh, and Don Cheadle will be joined by Justin Hammer. I'm guessing they're still trying to hash out the contract, so they're like,
I assume so, because they did it with Moon Knight, didn't they? There was no Oscar Isaac is like, hang on a minute, the ink's not dry.
At least Don Cheadle will be known as an actual hero and not Tony Stark's friend that lost his legs.
He's not going to be Tony Stark's black friend. Just like, hey, I'm here. They're going to finally put the respect on Rhodey that he deserves.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, out of the back end of announcement, this is what I've been waiting for. Like, pretty much ever since the MCU began. I was like, I need War Machine more. And Don Cheadle is one of my favorite actors, so, like, yes.
Aren't they going to explain more of why he's not going to be that as Iron Patriot during Armor Wars?
Yeah. I don't think he's going to be Iron Patriot going forward.
So I can't wait to see that new armor as well that he had at the end of Endgame, because that thing was a beast.
Well, here's the thing: do they keep going bigger with the armor, or do they dial it back a little bit?
I hope they dial it back after that one gets damaged.
Yeah, it's like do they kind of go back to like the Iron Man 2 look for War Machine, the classic War Machine?
I kind of like more of the sleek War Machine designs.
Yeah. Oh man, I just realized that Hot Toys is literally the dude peeking behind a tree with his palms because they're gonna do 300 armors coming.
It's like, ooh, you thought we'd run out, but no.
Damn,
we have 2 Iron People now. But yeah, I think you're gonna get a slightly more classic look for, because like we went back to basics with Stark for Endgame. I can see this show doing that for Rhodey.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like, go for that old, like, pitch black, pitch white look for War Machine.
Like that slight digital camo almost look on it that's kind of blends the black shades with like a slightly darker gray. Like Civil War had it pretty nicely.
I was thinking more like the old comic colors where it's just like, we're going to make it just straight black and white.
That could work, honestly. Yeah.
And then they could very well make it. I assume they're gonna stick with Ironheart's origins, and I assume at some point there's gonna be a Stark hologram. Why would there not be?
Yep.
Like, hey, you want people to watch this show? Tony Stark's an AI in this thing.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, obviously not a prominent role like the comics kind of had that AI, but you can make her Jarvis.
Yeah, totally.
But like, if you wanted to be different about it and not have the little black girl be inspired by the white billionaire, you could twist it so she's inspired by Rhodey.
Yeah. Like, I mean, in that way, Armor Wars maybe sets her off, and she's inspired by what he's done. That he's taken a mantle, and she's like, "I want to be like him." That could work. Yeah.
Because the first suit she makes, like, yes, granted, she makes it in a dorm room and she hasn't got a lot of stuff. It's very War Machine like. It is huge. It's massive.
I was thinking, maybe for Rhodey they use the Model 8 version of the War Machine.
When was the Model 8?
Let's see. Just looking at it, was in Avengers Volume 5, issue 35.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that either, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm hoping War Machine takes it in a ridiculous. I want the mission where he has like the tank legs and he's just rolling through the desert blasting everybody. I need that.
They do like the ultimate route, and he's just literally like a walking Gundam, but with caterpillar tracks.
I want it. Do it. Cat words.
You're just like, oh no, Justin Hammer's got the Mandarin car from the Lego set. I need something like myself.
Perfect. Yes, bring that around. Bring us the Mandarin car. Well,
and he just, like, the Mandarin car just looks like the Technodrome from Turtles.
Perfect. Yes, honestly, yes.
Also, this is a perfect way to give me Ezekiel Stane. Marvel, please, I beg you.
That could honestly fit. That would make sense for this series.
Ezekiel Stane and Justin Hammer.
Perfect. They did reveal a sizzle reel for Ms.Marvel from a little bit that they shot. They had a few scenes in there, and also confirmed Monica is coming to Captain Marvel to a Spectrum, and Captain Marvel is being joined by Ms.Marvel as a co-star. So, oh boy, these two series, they had, again, hand in hand, these two series go together.
Yeah.
So,
thank you for not making Captain Marvel 2 a prequel.
yes. Yes.
I've had enough of these the female-less superhero movies being prequels. Thank you for being like, oh, women exist in present day. Bare minimum. Well done. But no, it's.
I mean, they needed their superhero timepiece, though.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
But, when they announced, is it Iman Vellani or is it Iman?
Yes.
Feige pronounced it completely different to how I've been saying.
He pronounced it like Amon or something.
Amon, yeah. And it wasn't even Feige. You said it. It was the I can't remember her name, but she does a lot for the comics. She's one of the editors. She's quite prominent in that Marvel 616 show.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's when they first announced her, I was like, cool. Don't know who she is. She looks like she does the job right. Fine. Then the set pictures come out, and it's like, you know what? You got me. This came out, there's this little look, we saw barely anything, and it's just like, I am sold.
Yep.
Well, she hasn't even really acted. She's like, the only acting we've seen from her is just her looking at the camera, really. It's like, no. Well, she just how she is.
I mean, we do got to talk about the one Easter egg for the Inhumans, right? Because it's there.
I was waiting to bring that up, but, well, you gotta jump on the strap,
dude. That's Query Maximus.
If that's not Maximus, I'm storming Marvel Studios.
Yeah, that is
with Pitchfork. I'm having a riot.
The moment I saw that, even like watching that sizzle reel, Shay was like, "Wait, pause that, go back. That's Maximus, right?" I was like, "Okay, we're on the same page." Yeah. Like it's
like you could argue it's Bruno, but why would she put Cool Guy over it? Like they're clearly hiding who that's supposed to be. Also, the white collar and the circle on the chest, it's absolutely Maximus.
Do you think that maybe Captain Marvel 2 suddenly, since Secret Invasion is going to go over, what if Captain Marvel 2 deals with the Moon and the Inhumans?
I could see it,
dude. That would automatically become my #1 film. That's it.
Because that's if she's still Inhuman, but I think the whole Maximus that thing, if that's not, then this show and franchise and the whole thing's dead to me.
You're dead.
But like the Kree have already said they're going to come back for Captain Marvel for Carol. Mm-hmm. Oh, what if they're like, hey, we need something to go against this that's just as strong? What else do we have in the cupboard of arsenal of things we've screwed over for power to use as weapons in the past? Like, oh, hey, there's a Black Bolt. He's like right next door to where she was.
Yep.
We can use them. It also makes sense for why Kamala Khan's in it this quickly. Obviously, I know why she's in it this quickly, because why would you not want her in there straight away?
Exactly.
Like, duh. Like, ideal world, I would have kept it till the third one. But, why are you not doing the second one? So, if she is an Inhuman, it makes sense for why she'd be in the movie. If they're doing Inhumans there, like, that's a pretty big and easy way to bring them back into the forefront.
Yeah, this is the best way to reintroduce them in franchises like this, and it makes me go back to the whole argument of, do you just soft reboot characters in other franchises? Yes, you do, and this is how you do it, right? Like, this is...
Yeah.
We can test them here. All right, just toss them in this, and there you go. So, I definitely feel like this is going to be pretty great overall, and I can't wait to see Captain Marvel 2. I know we're here on this channel are in the minority. We don't lash out of Brie Larson breathing, so...
We're in the minority of people who, like... It's $1 billion movie that everyone has.
But the internet will tell you otherwise, so you know.
The 12 people that spend their time online being angry about fictional characters. Yeah, cool.
It's true. Let's talk about She-Hulk, which is officially confirmed to add the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. Abomination is returning.
With Tim Roth.
Which, hell yes. And the tease of she's in a courtroom. You never know who else might appear.
It's absolutely Daredevil.
It's Daredevil.
Yeah, it's just some certain lawyer that's kind of blind.
I mean,
it's like it works on two fronts, because he says you never, like, what he says like before is like, she deals in superhero cases. You never know who's going to show up. Well, guess who literally fits both those bills?
Right.
Guess who they could now use if they want to. It just fits. It fits more than Spider-Man, which is Spider-Verse, Daredevil, and Deadpool. Some disgraceful YouTuber who we do not mention is trying to push that Deadpool's in Spider-Man 3 as well. It's just like no, shush. So you would have heard about that now.
Exactly. Like the thing here is Murdoch fits into this because she's literally like, I kid you not, the courtroom she will go to is about 3 blocks away from Nelson and Murdoch. Like, I've literally been to both locations because I'm a nerd. I went to New York multiple times, and I had to take pictures of these locations. So, this only makes sense. And if you start looking more and more into it, Kevin Feige even did that little smirk when he said it. Like,
he did the Feige smile.
He did the Feige. I'm telling you what you need to know without telling you, and it's like that was enough to pretty much be it. And this show, honestly, I'm glad Abomination is finally coming back.
Same.
I'm glad that they said this show is going to be completely unique to the MCU. It's like, well, everything so far seems like it's unique to the MCU.
I say, if anything, they have stopped caring about fitting into a certain mold, and they just gone all over the place.
Yep.
Like we're now in comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like one episode you'll have an adventure, and then next episode you'll be in the courtroom.
Everything works together. Nothing's the same. Nothing's written the same. It's still going to have that obvious flair to it that makes it what it is. But nothing's the same.
What if during the show she's like, "Oh, I got to handle a case from Harlem." Hey, is that Luke Cage?
Yeah.
Dude,
it'd be a good way to bring in the next
another perfect opportunity right there. Like this show.
Jessica Jones.
Yep, it writes itself. This show with all the New York Defenders literally fits this mold. So
you could do literally any of them. Daredevil fits into so many facets of what he said the show's about. Mm-hmm. So, she's like this woman trying to make she's a career lawyer and she's trying to do this. She's just like 6'7" plus and green. It's like, Matt Murdock's not going to give a crap about that, is he?
Yeah.
What better way to drive that point home of why should anyone care than having a guy who can't really see? Obviously, Matt Murdock can see, but everyone knows he's blind. So. It's that thing.
So why would I care? She's green. I can't even see.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, FYI, I just just knocked guy's jaw off his face. I need a lawyer. I can't defend myself.
And since Abomination is, joined the show, I think we can byway connect Thunderbolt Ross will be involved. Another strike on the Thunderbolts.
I wonder if they're gonna have the leader in this in some way.
Oh.
I think they would have said, but at the same time, they could be holding that back as a surprise.
Yeah. Build them up for season 2. Well, what?
Yeah.
Why not?
There's that as well.
You could do that. Murdoch's got to defend the leader, and he knows he's guilty. There we go. That's the case.
I just want Daredevil.
It'll happen. It's got to happen. It's got to. How about here we go. Frank is arrested, and She-Hulk's on the side of we gotta bury him, and Murdoch shows up to defend him, being like, "Look, maybe I kind of see what he was doing. That's your in. There you go." So,
do we use this show as a way of saying no, all the shows were canon?
I would. It fits.
Where's Abomination been for the last 10 years? Oh, he was in the fridge.
Yeah.
There was an incident there that caused him to break out.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm defending these 2 teenagers for vigilantism, and hey, it's Cloak and Dagger.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Just give Cloak and Dagger back, Marvel, please.
Yeah, dude, that show was so good. So good.
Baby's back. Forget Runaways. I can stay in California.
Whoa. I like the Runaways, all right? That's not...
Unless they're on the run, and obviously they're like, no, we're going to
try. They just literally run into the show with their Velociraptor. We're here!
It would fit She-Hulk. Just do all the TV ones and just use it as a vehicle to bring them in.
Yeah.
Not that I'd want it to take away from She-Hulk because she's got to be the focus, obviously. But has anyone checked Maslany's Twitter to see if she's denied it again? Because she denied it last time it was confirmed.
Yeah. Well, there's no more denying anything on the... Now we're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3, a holiday special movie made for Disney Plus that's in continuity, and I Am Groot animated shorts that are also in continuity with everything. So...
This is nuts.
This is nuts. God damn. Like...
How much stuff are we getting?
Yeah.
I said before my biggest worry was oversaturation. They are testing the waters to absolutely see if people would accept a crap ton.
I almost forgot that they're supposed to be. Was it a Devil Dinosaur and Moon Girl cartoon?
Yeah,
that's
a Disney, not a Disney XD.
Yeah,
it was. I don't know.
Oh no! Please make it Disney Plus.
Well,
you don't need it. You don't need it to die there.
Well, the thing is,
it's next to.
I mean, since they're doing the whole Groot thing, right? We don't know because they said Groot is going to interact with a bunch of Marvel characters from around the world that they're not putting in films just yet.
And I said, new and unique characters.
Mm-hmm.
So there's obviously it's got to be space stuff, surely.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
and is I Am Groot coming before Guardians Volume 3 along with the holiday special?
It looks like it's somewhere in there. What they did confirm is the holiday special will shoot alongside
at the same time
and before Guardians 3. And they said, no, it is a full-on, in-continuity thing to hold people over that holiday season before Guardians 3. So, I mean...
It's going to be Peter Quill teaching them what the hell Christmas is about. And yes, please, can we decorate Groot?
Yes. Yep.
Get some space tinsel and just wrap it around Groot.
I guarantee you he's going to be like, all right, guys, it's time to celebrate Christmas finally as a family. Like, what's that? They come to Earth. They're going to get a Christmas tree. There's going to be jokes with Groot. They'll probably be joined by somebody. Like, it's going to be I feel like it's going to be perfect for that type of... Let's relax before the Guardians kill off a couple members in the third movie.
And obviously Thor's got to be involved as well.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Because we know at least Quill's going to be in Love and Thunder. Mm-hmm. So Thor's got to be on Guardians 3. And it's like, hey, I can show you around New York and where to get all the Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Jane used to love this when I went out with Jane. She was my girlfriend. No, I broke up with her. Just ramble on like Thor.
Yes. All this, so much of it is sounding, like it's going to be great. The thing with Guardians 3, like they said, James Gunn is like back in the fold with all these. He'll be working on the...
Which everyone's saying James Gunn is only coming back for this one movie and he is done because he's been burnt. Yeah, no.
Nope.
No. Most of the times with Marvel stuff, people have been wrong. With that behind-the-scenes drama stuff, no one's ever gotten it right.
And funny true story now, WB has burnt him more by AT&T way of handling HBO Max than Marvel ever did. Because,
I mean, I can't talk for him, obviously. I'd be surprised if being kicked for what happened was less than this bit, but... You don't mess with a man's wallet, I suppose.
I mean, especially after he's committed that much and he's shooting a series for them right now. And they're like, well, you're not getting your bonuses.
Can we just take a minute to appreciate how much of a backfire that actually was?
Right?
People set out to destroy this man's career because he did not like a political party member.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's jump over to Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania.
Sounds like a wrestling event to me.
Yes, I'm in. This is it.
This is the part where I'd be like, can we not? But it's like, I can't deny it. This is like, what can I say to make it stop? I can't.
And they confirmed Jonathan Majors, who is absolutely masterful in Lovecraft Country as Kang. And
fantastic.
Dude.
Yeah, Kang.
Yes.
It's Kang versus Ant-Man and Wasp in a main match.
Two Ant-Men and Wasps. And also with Cassie Lang. They made a point to say like they've recast her for reasons. We don't really know yet. So, is it an age thing? Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so when you put quantum in the title, this tells me this movie is exactly what we thought it was going to be when they announced Kang. They're going to be fighting each other and chasing each other through the quantum realm, through different time for 2+ hours. This movie...
This is the Magic School Bus, but Marvel.
Yup. This is going to be nuts. Like... dude, Peyton Reed is just going to go to town on this thing. And I cannot wait. Because I mentioned it here before. I love Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, that one is in my top 10 MCU. I know I'm probably one of the only people on this damn planet that puts it that high, but I love that movie so much.
It's very mid for me. It's very mid. I enjoy it, but it's very mid. It occupies that Black Panther, Captain Marvel range.
Okay.
It's very, very mid.
I don't know, just something about this when they announced the title, it just brought a big smile to my face, and then announcing Kang. And as you said, we pointed out before, it looks like Kang is going to tie into Loki. Loki is it's dealing with some sort of time ramifications and quantum things itself. I want to see how these things ripple into each other because they have to. They have to.
Well, the common theme and denominator for everything is the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Literally everything points that way. Kang, Iron Lad. Loki, Kid Loki. Falcon and Winter Soldier, Patriot. We know WandaVision's got the twins. We know Ant-Man and the Wasp has Cassie in it. We've had Cassie for years at this point. Hawkeye, you got Kate Bishop.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange has got America Chavez in it, which is now officially confirmed. And you got parties, she's 14, where everyone else seems to be like 24.
Right, yeah.
Like, she young. What's going on here? She tiny. Oh, yeah, so it's all... I think the next Avengers is going to be Young Avengers.
100%. At this point, here's the thing. With how much they're setting up with all these movies and TV shows and all that, and Quantumania and whatever the hell else, they're going so big with all these standalone films that they can, and I use this not as an insult, they can sacrifice an Avengers movie to make it Young Avengers and it will still sell. Because it's a new brand, and Kevin Feige has sold them on the idea, look, the next Avengers movie can make $1 billion again. It's not going to make close to 3. But the one after that will make 1.5. And when we get to Young Avengers 3 crossing over with 30 other franchises, we'll make 5. So, they're all invested on this because it makes sense.
They're not out to make... Like, obviously, they're making things quickly, but they're doing it quick, but they're thinking about it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not right. Well, we're going to have this one movie, then the next movie's going to have everyone in it, and then the next movie after that is going to have even more people in it, and then we're done.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going that route. It's like, no, we're going to go over the next 2 years, and we're going to have, right, well, this bit goes here, that goes here, that goes there. Like, the puzzle, they're doing the Rubik's Cube really quickly.
Yeah, they are. And... I mean, there's a lot of pieces to it, right? Like, a lot of pieces to it. So we can sort of start to see a picture form, which is going to bring me to this one I want to talk about because we just covered everything leading up to this, the multiverse. So when Feige introduced all this, he talked, and we teased it a little bit and talked about it a little bit, but I want to go further into it. WandaVision leads into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Loki will have some ripple effects. Quantumania... all these other things that are happening. Deadpool, we know, is in fact happening as Deadpool 3 in the MCU. So, this whole multiverse mashup and everything that they're doing, and quantum and everything, how far do you think they're going with this? And do you think it's going to happen that they're going to bring everything into the fold? Like, the Sonyverse is clearly going to be all brought in to a degree.
I think any old Marvel movie that's been made... or even series is going to be made canon. They're absolutely going to crisis this on the CW.
Oh, yeah.
But with an actual budget that's more than a sandwich.
Which is good. Well, our eyes won't hurt.
So I think Doctor Strange is going to introduce this idea of different versions of it. It's been rumored for a while, but maybe we get Tom Cruise Iron Man and John Krasinski Cap, and I can't think of who was up. Charlie Hunnam's Thor. Yeah. Like, maybe we get things like that, and then they go, right, well, the ones that we have seen before, here that they are as well.
Yeah, and there's still also that standing rumor that we keep hearing about that seems to be pointing more and more towards true that Hugh Jackman is in talks with them. So like, I have a
give me
feeling,
Jimmy.
like, I think you're gonna see Jackman back as part of the whole Deadpool thing. They'll make a joke, finally put him in the suit, give him that Wolverine appearance, and then we get the younger Wolverine. And
I would say if they do it in Deadpool, they just bring him back as Hugh Jackman, and the point is Daredevil's trying to get him in this. Not Daredevil, sorry, Deadpool.
Yeah,
He's trying to get him in the.
tell him to cosplay as this one character.
Yeah,
there's one guy he knows.
He can literally make a joke out of it, being like, look, the nerds on the internet will flip out if you don't put the suit on before you leave. Come on, man. Come on. Like,
and like, you just have like the one shot of him in the suit, and he's like, yeah, I don't know where it is. No.
Yes.
It's just a really ugly suit. Like, it looks like a movie suit, but it's a really bad movie suit.
Like a baggy, like store-bought movie suit. Yeah.
It's a Party City suit.
Just use a stunt suit and be like, there you go. Like, it's baggy. It's not made to be seen on screen, really. Like,
right.
Here, you look good in that Badger guy suit.
And there you go. You have your Wolverine. He's like, nah.
Here's the thing. This is the one exception I would make about having Kevin Feige appear in a movie. I would have Deadpool literally be like, hey, Feige, go into the vault, and Feige literally grabs the suit that they rejected and brings it on and goes, it's not even complete, man. It's just a prop, and walks away. I would accept Kevin Feige doing that type of appearance. Like, just humor us, you know? Like, play into it, because why not? Like, this whole multiverse thing it's clearly the next phase is split into two.
Yeah.
The Earth side, that's going to be normal-ish, and then the multiverse quantum whatever the hell jumbled mess they're gonna make of this, which sounds absolutely insane and incredible. So
yeah, and maybe the quantum realm plays a part in introducing
the big announcement. This is one of the biggest ones. Fantastic Four, here's your logo. Oh, and also we're taking John Watts 100% under our wing. He's directing Fantastic Four. Yes.
I would never have pegged Watts for this.
Same. Yep.
Like, if they were going to get anyone from their wheelhouse, it would have absolutely been Peyton Reed.
Yeah.
I would have put good money on Peyton Reed being the one to get it. But having said that, why would you not get the Spider-Man guy who did Fantastic Four?
Exactly.
Like, how closely linked were those two at the start of Marvel? Like, it makes way too much sense.
Mm-hmm. And
way too much sense.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, he clearly understands that type of vibe that you need for those characters, because we see it in the we see that fantastic vibe with the relationships and banter that he has between Spider-Man and all of them. And it's very evident that Sony is doing their own thing with Spider-Man after, and Disney was like, we should lock down John Watts for our properties because we like what he's done. So it's a little bit more of that weird competitive thing.
People are saying that, like, are they that competitive? Like, is that relationship to that point where Disney has to underhand getting a director like that?
I think in this instance, a little bit of it, honestly, because
see, I'm willing to bet they're in a much better, like, they're playing ball and with each other a bit more now, and that's evident with how everything, like, why else would we have 3 Spider-Men in this next film?
Yeah,
like, if they weren't, this film wouldn't have happened, and it wouldn't be those 3. Like, they're clearly playing ball and they're on each other's side now. I think they've realized they both need each other. They're better off together than they are apart. So it's like, hey, maybe, like, Sony's like, you know what? You can let John Watts do something else. Like, we still have Tom Holland. We still have all this stuff here. Like, let someone else have a crack at the Spider-Man, like, trilogy. Like how comics work. It's like, cool. Well, John Watts has introduced him. He's done, like, probably the biggest Spider-Man film we could ever do.
Mm-hmm.
Let someone else come in and take the reins and do a different approach with it.
Yeah, and also this makes me very hopeful that, like the Russo brothers, because they started as the Captain America guys, and then they're like, no, we're now the Avengers guys. Like, people don't even realize they started off as Captain America movie. Like, I have a feeling John Watts he's doing a trilogy. He's probably going to do 3 Fantastic Fours, if not more, and I'm going to bet on it. I have a sneaky suspicion they're going to get him to do, like, the next big crossover Avengers type, all of them, because...
It wouldn't surprise me, because he's the only one that's crossing franchises right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which is... Fantastic Four are huge.
Yeah.
And people don't realize just how integral those guys are to literally everything.
Now, here's the thing I want to point out to everybody, and this is kind of important. If you look at all their release dates, which they have through November of 2023, every single movie that's been announced now fills in all those dates. So we're getting Fantastic Four by 2023. I mean,
that's insane. Like, yes, it's 8 years after Fantastic. It doesn't feel like it's going to be 8 years.
Jesus.
But it's going to be 8 years. It's going to be insane.
It's about due time.
That movie's still going to be felt up to the release of the new Fantastic Four movie. Let's be honest.
I can't wait till video essayists go back and talk about the untapped, not understood version.
The underrated.
Yes,
underrated mentality of Fantastic. Y'all just didn't understand it at the time.
It's too complex for your simple minds, Puritans.
I mean, it might very well be.
Clearly.
I'm going to be honest right now.
We weren't on enough of the same stuff Josh Trank was on while making that movie, so we don't know. So
give me a tab of acid or something, and maybe maybe I can be on that level.
Now,
this is I love the fact that he's just like, everyone was asking for it at the Comic-Con announcement, like, oh, where was it? They didn't even announce that, and it's just like, you're just gonna give him a crumb, like, bang, there we go.
And the big thing with this one is, again, I think this will directly connect to everything that's come before. This is Fantastic Four, man. This is the franchise that will usher in, like, the Guardians, like, this whole new aspect of Marvel. And it's going to lead to Galactus and Surfer. That's the end game for the next decade, 15 years, however. Like, it's huge. This franchise, and John Watts is honestly, I think, a perfect pick. So, damn. Can't wait. The hype is...
Let's say, we're finally here. After all these years, it's finally happening, and it's just nice to have them back.
It really is. So, we officially had our update on Black Panther 2. And Kevin Feige confirmed we are not recasting T'Challa. We are moving on. And again, I've already seen it. It's everywhere. You guys have probably seen it. It's a split decision. Like I said, whatever they choose to do, they will get equal amount of anger from people from both sides. Like, in my opinion, this was the choice to me. Like, I'll
say this is just outright the correct choice to make.
Yep.
People can go on about how other actors have been recast, how movies have rebooted and recast characters and this and that. The fact is, none of them are comparable.
Yeah.
The only one that can kind of get close to is Joker. But hey, the Joker recast isn't in that same franchise.
Exactly.
It isn't in a currently ongoing story being told, and I suppose the cultural impact of Joker was pretty massive, wasn't it? Like, the impact Boseman had far outweighed any of those other ones.
Yeah,
it's as simple as that. Like, yes, Joker was massive, like the Heath Ledger version. Chadwick Boseman was bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
As he says in the thing, he transcended that role and everything about Black Panther that came before it. That is true. No one can argue with that. To just outright go, yeah, R.I.P. Boseman, cool. Here's another guy. That is disrespectful to Boseman.
Yeah,
definitely. It's as simple as that. So, to outright say, like, no, we're not doing it, and they're not going to be digitizing anything. No, good.
To me, this was the choice. This is what I think they should have done from the beginning. I'm glad they're doing it. They're clearly going to pass on the mantle. That's more or less what he confirmed. Somebody else is becoming Black Panther. And the thing is, like, we're going to have to see how do they move on past. Like, so he's passing away between films. That's sort of what's happening. And, man, that's going to be... Oh, that's the tough one, right?
It's going to be rough. If I was Ryan Coogler, I'm 100% certain Marvel has gone, treat this as a therapy session.
Yeah.
This is therapy for you. It's therapy for the audience. It's closure for you. It's closure for the audience. Now, you know, people are going to be like, oh, but it's too early to give Shuri the title. That's precisely why you do it.
Yeah.
Or they don't, technically, they don't have to.
No, they don't have to. It's just purely a hypothetical example. Like, Shuri's the obvious one, right? She's part of that family. She's in line for the throne. She's the obvious one to do. Therefore, hypothetically, naturally, you do it. People say it's too early. But that's exactly why you tell that story that way. It's like, oh, but are we just going to start off with a funeral? Well, yeah, he died suddenly. No one knew apart from like 3 people that he had this thing in real life.
Yeah.
So therefore, you put that, you make the film as close to reality as possible. You have the sudden death, you have the characters dealing with it, then you have them moving on. And then that way the audience is instantly related to it and you move on with the characters. That is how you handle this movie.
And that's the thing, if they choose to, which I assume the film will, because they're moving past it, they're going to have to like mourn the loss of T'Challa.
Yeah.
That can be huge for this film.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, new actor that's going to get so much backlash. You're now T'Challa. Here you go. Take this payday. Yeah. Like, no.
Also, like, just the whole like choice to recast or whatnot. Why would you ever want to put that on someone?
Yeah. Yup.
How do you do that?
And again, the Ledger situation is not valid. I'm sorry. Ledger was not recast for the 3rd Batman film. If you remember...
No, he wasn't. They changed the script,
Yeah, WB wanted him to be in the courtroom scene, and they replaced him with Scarecrow because no one was like, I'm not doing this. What is wrong with you? And then a new iteration of the character. If the MCU was rebooting Black Panther or doing something...
Fair enough.
Sure. But not, like... No. Like... And it's not the same
it's apples and oranges.
Right, and some people have brought up, well, they replaced War Machine and Hulk. Yeah, but they're alive.
I was going to say one was because of tax and one was because of money.
Yeah, so...
Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, Tristan, what's your entire take on this? Like,
it's really hard because for casuals who don't know or like on the fence is that T'Challa is Black Panther. There's no going around that. No matter what they tried before. People wanted T'Challa to be Black Panther. They tried other characters taking out the mantle, didn't pan out. And with this situation, it's pretty unique because you technically can recast T'Challa as another actor, but you don't know if the audience will take to it or say it's in bad taste because it's their opinion. They can have that opinion if they want to, and also with higher ups, they probably wouldn't want to. Now, from this, all this situation where they're alluding to, we're not gonna, recast T'Challa, someone else is gonna be it. That's where where the obvious choice would be Shuri, but with what's going on with that, with the actress recently, not so sure. Yeah, not so sure about that. And then, people are like, well, who can be it? And then for other people, for a short time. In the comics, there was another person to be Black Panther. He was a New Yorker. I don't know why they gave him the name Casper, but yeah, he was for a very short time a Black Panther. Don't know if they're gonna go with that or they're gonna go with a completely new character.
Why? Let's say they take on board everything that Atisha writes down. They're kind of like, we don't need this like anti-vaxxer, anti-trans actress leading our Black Panther franchise when everyone's trying to move on from a bad bit of news. What if they go in Baku?
Yes,
I wouldn't be against it.
name me one or anyone say they didn't like M'Baku in that.
Yeah, he was fun and charismatic. They would like it. Him learning to be more humble.
Yeah. And like he kind of had not the exact Shuri personality, but it's that more. He was the more jokey one. Like, like, oh, we're gonna eat your kids. No, sorry, we're vegan.
Yeah.
Like, he has that element to him.
If it's not him and not Shuri, the only one I would expect is like another member of the Dara Milaje. They could do it that way.
Yeah, you could do. What's her name? Who's the other one?
There's Nakia.
That's Nakia. Yeah.
Yeah, you could do her. You could do really anything here, but I want to see what they do.
There's several choices.
Yeah. God, yeah. Like, it's one of those things. Yeah.
That's why it's like it's really hard to make a decision on everything that happens. It's just, especially for Black Panther as an IP, just having like one bad thing after another bad thing happen when they're trying to recoup everything.
It's had a rough 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I think like on Twitter it's like, no, not Black Panther, don't do this. It's like, what is you guys doing?
I say that's got to be why people went probably more off at Letitia Wright than anyone else. It's like, no, you were supposed to take this over. Don't do this to us now.
Yeah.
It's only been like 2 months since it happened, 3 months.
Right. Yeah. And then people were like saying, resurrect Michael B. Jordan, have him be that, and then
sure.
You know what?
Even that, as I would accept that for having.
Could you imagine if they multiversed and T'Challa in the other universe was actually played by Michael B. Jordan? They're like, here you go. It's like, oh what?
Sure, why not?
Dude, that'd be wild. And I mean,
for all we know, he didn't die.
Eh?
He could have just easily passed out. Tyler's like, I know you wanted to be like buried in the ocean. I ain't doing that. I apologize. You're going in a queue. We're going to give you a bead. You're going to go in a freezing pod.
You honestly could.
Easily sold.
And that story could literally write itself into something good because he wakes up, he realizes what T'Challa done and did during the war and all that and the blip and everything. And he's like, if I was a leader, I probably would not have done this and we would have lost. So I'm going to be a better man because T'Challa passed away. That's a redemption story. That could work to so much benefit.
It also fits with the theme of no one wants someone else to be Black Panther.
Yep.
No one wants another guy to be that person, that character.
No.
Everyone wanted the one person to be that, and we got it, and we don't have it anymore. So you can kind of, again, it writes itself like that.
When somebody sent me that video that I had no idea what it was of the Marvel Studios Black Panther intro, I just got a message like, hey, watch this. What do you think? And I was like, oh, what the hell is it? Because I usually hate clicking them. And to start to play, I'm like, it's the Marvel intro, all right. And then I realized that it was...
And it hits.
And, dude, it hit me, and this wave of sadness, and it was when we saw the Stan Lee thing all over again. I was like,
yeah.
Dude, my heart just sank. I was like, I can't imagine. It's, yeah.
It's tough.
Black Panther 2 is opening with that,
and
it's going to have in loving memory or something, and a picture of him. It's going to be no, it's going to hit you straight away. It's inevitable. So
yeah, they'll remind you why this movie is going to do the things it's going to do.
Yep.
And it's going to be very... On the nose is a bit of a negative term to use, but I think it's probably the best one. It's going to be on the nose as to exactly what it's set out to do.
Yeah.
I don't think Cougar's going to pussyfoot around with exactly how this movie's going to go. And at the end of the day, whatever he decides, I got my opinion. Everyone's got their own opinion on how this movie should go and who should be Black Panther and whatever. At the end of the day, I've got full faith in Ryan Coogler to do what's right.
Yep.
Whatever he thinks is right is the right direction this movie's got to take.
I guarantee you, Marvel gave him the option to walk away if this was too much for him. I guarantee you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And he's probably like, no, guys, I will do this because I want to. It's... Mm-hmm. And,
So let me just get over the fact that I just literally finished the script first.
Yeah.
This was just done. Why? Mm-hmm. Now I got to redo it again.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, it sucks. It's a bad situation. There's no easy road out for them, but whatever Cougar...
They even gave it a new release date, right? It has a release date now.
Did they date it again yesterday?
I believe so. It's coming in what 2022?
Oh yeah, because it's filming in July, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, yeah, that's right. Yeah, which it's just wild. It's like, man, he's like, I would not have climbed out of that hole that quick.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. I'd have been in there for at least until July.
Right.
Like, I ain't looking at no damn script. Man. What am I doing?
Yeah.
But
So, I guess that's the decision they made. You guys can, of course, always let us know in the comments how you feel about it. And that has officially brought us to the end of this 2+ hour epic.
Yep.
I feel like I just ran a marathon.
Yep.
Oh, my
I've been
God.
sitting here going like, we've really skipped over a ton of stuff, and there's still a ton of stuff I could go on about.
Like,
Yeah.
you and all take a little mention to all the Disney movies that
Oh, my
that are
God.
coming out too.
There's
Chris
so
Evans
much.
as Buzz Lightyear in an
So
origin
That's
movie.
wild.
So here's a
That's so-
So this is what happened. My wife, she's a martial artist, so Tuesdays and Thursdays she goes and she does martial arts, and they practice, everything right now. So they're doing it differently. So she was like there for longer because they have to do, all this tests and stuff. And she comes home, and she knows I was covering the investors call and tune in, and she asks me, "What did they announce?" And I'm standing in the kitchen after watching 4 hours of that, making videos and posts and talking to everybody. And about 8 to 9 seconds went by, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And literally, she took a picture of me as I stared past her, and sort of my brain hit this point where I decided I'm going to tell her what happened. But all of it hit me and how much was announced, and my brain just overloaded, and I literally started to look like I was just drooling and brain dead. And I was like, she was like, "You literally looked like you just had a stroke." I was like, I might have. I don't know, honestly. Like, there was so much.
This was an entire year's worth of cons rolled into one.
And everything they announced is only the next 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because like,
No, there was some stuff for 24, wasn't there? And 25, some of the Disney Animate series, the Pixar series.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
all that.
yeah,
Pixar,
there's
yeah.
that. I know, like they're giving Cars an animated series, a lot of other, a lot of animated movies like Moana is getting an animated series.
I'm here for that
Zootopia.
one.
Zootopia is getting an animated series, and Baymax and a lot.
Yeah, well,
And one thing we didn't talk about is that I guess Disney is doing simultaneous releases now, starting next year.
I'd say not a lot of people, admittedly, I jumped off virtually right after the Marvel one as well. But they said right after the Marvel one, they're going to be transparent with what their plan is for theatrical release. Like COVID, letting movies be in theaters, they're going to be in theaters. Like day and date is going to be the way everything goes, but it's going to be a case by case basis.
Okay.
So if we get to what is it? Is it March? For
March.
Black Widow?
Yeah, for that and the next animated movie for Disney.
Yeah. So come March, if we're still in a place where theaters can't really open that wide, you're going to get day and date.
Yeah.
For Black Widow.
They're
100% going to get it.
cutting it to the wire, but clearly they literally said it. They have the infrastructure now, and
Yeah.
I mean, look, theater, day and date with video on demand, it's like, fine, if you want to go to a theater, sure. Or do you want to stay home and pay $30 like that new movie, like the Dragon one? I can't remember its name right now. God damn it.
Raya the Last Dragon.
Raya. They're going to do that exact same thing. And I think Raya is the test for that, to see how does it do in both.
Yeah.
Because if it does good, why not? That's your future.
It's his thing. Like, Mulan clearly did well enough for them to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, they didn't. I don't believe they told us the numbers that Mulan made, which part of me surprised. Part of me is like, why would they ever reveal the official numbers?
Yeah.
Right. They've said they're very happy with it. That's all they're ever going to say, or they weren't going to say anything at all about
Right.
it. So it's clearly done well enough for them to carry on with this. Like, Soul's just going straight to Disney Plus,
Yeah.
which that to me is crazy. It's like, how is that not a day and date thing like everything else? But I think we would have got an announcement that the plan is day and date for everything else, but the WB thing has kind of made them go like, hold on a minute. Like, we don't need that. Like, we want our stuff to go up. We don't want it to go down. So they say it's a case by case thing, then people can't get mad that their movie that's been delayed by a year and a half weren't spoken to, and it's just all of a sudden been decided it's going on a streaming service, while also going in the theater as well, because WB are doing day and day as well. So
yeah,
I think it's played a part in it.
Yeah, still, they hopefully they're doing more with the animated series, especially. I guess their big first one is Lightyear with Chris Evans.
Oh yes, hype.
People were mad, kind of mad that that it wasn't done by Tim Allen, his original voice actor. And
but I like how they got around that stuff. It's like, no, this is the cartoon that led to the toy.
Yeah.
And plus it's supposed to be a younger Lightyear since it's an origin story. So I don't know if Tim Allen could do it.
Also, couldn't Pixar not be like jokey, like how they don't tell Feige we've taken Chris Evans away? It's like they didn't have him anyway.
Guys, I do want to like kind of bring this up though, because before I blank out on it, a goddamn Alien series on FX.
Yes, that is.
And
nuts.
Also, I do want to point this out to everybody that said Disney would kill Fox. The dude running FX said, thanks to Disney, they are allowed to produce 30 original new series a year with no budgetary restrictions and are allowed to use the full Disney catalog. And they renewed Always Sunny for 4 more seasons. So whoever said Disney would kill Fox, backtrack that, bro.
Well, they said they killed Fox and all the mature content.
Mm-hmm.
People are just a big dumb. People are the dumb. They want, Disney's the thing that ruins everything. But here we are.
Dude, I can't believe we're getting an Alien series with Noah Hawley out of all people. He's gonna nail it.
I so hope he just doesn't pull a Legion.
No,
like don't make season 1 fantastic and then be like, no, we need more of this. Like, don't go too crazy.
I think him and Ridley will each hold each other down so they don't get the worst of each other, because they're complete opposites.
I hope so.
Because Ridley's always like, robots banging, and Howie's like, how abstract can I go to an acid trip?
Yeah.
So, and I'm interested to see, this is Alien set in the near future on Earth, but technically in the timeline that doesn't work. So how exactly do you involve the alien? Because they said the Xenomorphs...
Alien has a timeline?
Timeline, okay. I use quotation marks.
Just like, okay. I mean, time plays a part in it because the movie goes on. So. That's the closest thing to a timeline that thing has. Bless it. I say want Alien to be good, and majority of it's not. Sad face. No, there was so much stuff at this thing last night. It's impossible to keep track of it. It's absolutely impossible. Because not only did you have to process everything they announced last night, it's then like, right, what else did they what did they actually say?
Right.
Like, what's actually come out from this thing? I've finally come to terms with the fact that this thing just happened.
Yeah.
What actually happened?
That was the thing. It was just there was one point where he said, we don't even have enough time to go over everything, and it pulled back. There was just a wall of content they couldn't even talk about.
Yeah, I think it was like over 30 plus announcements spanning over close to 10 years of content.
That's crazy.
Insane.
It's crazy. But if oversaturation is going to happen, it's going to be in 2020s. Like, it will be this decade.
Yeah, they got WB over there twiddling their thumbs.
I love the fact, though, that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios are like, okay, you had nothing in 2020. In 2021, you have 10 MCU properties. Majority TV shows. Here you go. It's like, Jesus Christ, dudes. Like, just think about it. Falcon and Winter Soldier in March, WandaVision right before that in January, and Loki in May. And then right after Loki, we're going to What If, and then Ms.Marvel and Hawkeye. Like, dude, it's going to be nonstop.
So remember when I said they're going to literally back-to-back the shows?
Literally.
They're back-to-back in the shows.
Like, by the time they reach early next year, they will literally have bagged like 6 more shows. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I just, insane. Just nuts.
Because what would you reckon 21's going to be? Like, WandaVision, Falcon, Loki,
What if?
Hawkeye.
I would say probably maybe even Ms.Marvel and Hawkeye. Because that's kind of what they said. They said
it's filming now, isn't it? Yeah.
They said everything's filming now.
Shows.
Yeah, nuts.
That's 6 shows next year. That's like what the hell? On top of 3 movies.
Meanwhile, we're still waiting to hear if Green Lantern will have a budget more than a peanut.
Just the one monkey nut.
Oh, come on, guys, come on! Damn it!
Yes, they half-assed HBO Max so badly.
Yep.
So badly.
Well, with that in mind, we have hit like 2 hours and 30 minutes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We are all going to just go collapse into a coma.
I'm gonna see if my voice goes tomorrow. I'm fully expecting.
Yeah, I drink like 3 bottles of water during all this because
I've
only drunk 1 liter.
Dude, I drank the rest of my coffee and 2 Bang energy drinks. I'm gonna explode.
How have you done that and not like had the driest throat imaginable? Like I'd have had a coffee and been like,
surprised the world didn't slow down for you.
It might be, honestly. I think that's why I started speeding up as the podcast went on, because like I was seeing lights just flash by my eyes. I'm having a stroke.
I mean, I'm scared to stand up. Like, I can't feel my legs at this point.
Yeah. So, if you're out there, go enjoy playing Cyberpunk if you're playing that. And if you have base consoles, I am so sorry. I am... Dude, buckle down your PS4 because that thing is flying away.
Yeah. I've got a friend who's brought it for his father-in-law, and today he literally messaged me going, I feel bad about buying this game.
Damn.
Like, oh no.
Yeah, I don't think I told you, RV is like the stocks for that was like dropped 30% because of all everything that's going on, and like it was kind of shady because I think it was like they wanted a bonus for having like a plus 90 on Metacritic, so they only gave reviewers PC copies.
Ooh, so. Yeah, that was shady. Yeah.
Shady as well.
Oh, well, all right, everybody. So thank you for joining us for this long 2.5 hour epic, and we will catch you next week for our normal, hopefully 45 to 50 minute show. Hopefully. Later, everyone.